The Dandy Andy Experience.
Welcome back to the Dandy Andy Experience. I hope each and every one of you are having a lovely day or night or, whatever, somewhere in between. Anyways, it's been a long time since I've done one of these, so I might be a little rusty. I think the last one I did was with Sav, and then before that, I think I just basically had like a mental breakdown, and you guys were really cool about it. So forgive me in advance if you hear any background noise. Is what it is. So I've been leaving you guys hanging on your questions. You guys have been asking so many questions, and I tell you in all of these, like, hey, you just put question and then you ask it and I'll answer it. And then I don't do that. So, I used to, but it's been a while. So I figured what I would do for this episode is just kind of get a refresher on all of your incredible, amazing questions when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 6, or maybe you asked me something else, but a lot of these are going to be Grand Theft Auto 6 related. And I'll do my very best with my very limited knowledge, to answer it. So anyways, also do not take a shot every time I clear my throat. One of you guys have made that joke in the past, and I think it would be dangerous for anyone to drink but the amount of times I might clear my throat. Tell you what, let me go ahead and put up some B-roll here. This is, I think Ghost of Tsushima is probably playing right now. That was captured on the PS5. It's the first game I actually played on the PS5. I haven't played through it all the way, so what you're seeing is the extent of what I've played, but it was pretty cool. Anyways, I'm going to pop in a Zin pouch here. I feel like it helps with the clearing of the throat and all that kind of stuff. Another thing it's helped me with is quit smoking. And not even quit smoking, but quit vaping. So I used vaping to quit smoking cigarettes. So I use a 3-pack-a-day smoker, and then down to 2, then down to 1. But I also like to smoke cigars. So it was really heavy on the lungs. I was a heavy drinker too. Finally switched over to vape a few years ago, and I just could not put it down. And now I'm on the Zin pouches. My God, I miss the vape. But the Zin pouches do help kick the nicotine addiction. Or I should say, the Sin pouches. Anyways, let's start off by going 3 months back. So we got The Middleman. That's a cool name. All right, so question 1, The Middleman. He was saying, oh, nice. What were you responding to? I don't know. I think it was me saying I was back. You were thinking of a question that I asked yesterday. Okay, so The Middleman asked, since clothes appear to also be physically simulated in real time, could that imply that we'll be able to strip them off unconscious or dead NPCs? And he's talking about in Grand Theft Auto 6, by the way. Very similar to how you could in Fallout. For example, but with actual animations, perhaps procedurally generated to an extent. I think that's a really interesting idea, but no, I don't think we're going to see that in Grand Theft Auto 6. I think if you see anything remotely close to that in Grand Theft Auto 6, you're going to see the ability to take a bag off of someone, or like maybe their gun, stuff like that, or like an item. I don't think you're going to be able to strip NPCs. Now you will be able to move bodies, which is new for Grand Theft Auto. That's going to be really cool. You'll be able to move them around. You're going to be able to zip tie them. Basically, the flexibility you had in Red Dead Redemption 2 with NPCs, you are now going to be able to do that. So yeah, that's a good question though. I haven't thought about that. It's kind of like a Hitman, kind of approach. Anyways, question 2, we got Cats Got Fried. This is, again, when I was saying I was back, so they were saying, glad to have you back, Andy. This is 3 months ago. I'm so sorry it's taken this long to get to your questions, man. I'm going to try and do better in the future. Question, if GTA 6 turns out to be a flop, and you say that you highly doubt it will, what do I think would be the cause of its failure? Story, characters, gameplay. Oh, it's interesting that you asked this 3 months ago, and then we have what we have now. I think the number one cause of its failure currently would be the Sony wars going on right now, with basically physical media going away. I don't know how many people out there are really going to put their money where their mouth is and not buy Grand Theft Auto 6 until there's physicals. I don't think it's going to be a lot, if I'm going to be honest. I think the majority are going to have this game. I already bought the game well before that was even announced, and since I covered it on the channel, I'm going to play it. I'm not going to be buying a PlayStation 6 unless they do offer physical media for that game, or just some true way of ownership. It's not even about the disc. I'm sorry, I know this is getting kind of off the topic of your question, but this is relevant now. It's not about owning a physical disc. It's not about that at all. It's about just owning the item. I'm tired of having to connect online to play a game. I remember back when EA Games came out with like the next Sim City or whatever, and it totally bombed because you needed an always online connection, and the game sucked. And then City Skylines, came and blew them away. So these are things we weren't okay with back then. But it seems like they're kind of suckering us in with it now. For instance, I've been trying to capture footage for Grand Theft Auto 5 on my ROG Ally X, and I have it modded, and I have to wait for the specific script hook to be updated every time they update the game, because I have to go through their stupid thing to actually launch the game. I can't just turn it on and play it offline. You have to have an online connection to access Grand Theft Auto 5. You just have to check in from time to time. It's really frustrating. I hate that. So I hope that goes away. I don't think it will, but I don't like it. So anyways, it just depends on if that controversy gets really intense. I do think the story for, I almost said Fallout. I just recorded a Fallout video before this. I do think the story for Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be really good. So I don't think it'll be the story that bombs it. I don't think it'll be the characters. I don't think it'll be the gameplay. I think it'll just be the controversy surrounding it. I think the game's going to rock. I do. Now, afterwards, I've got a gut feeling with Rockstar that things probably aren't going to go as hot anymore. I don't know why. I've got kind of a video about it where I stated some reasons why, called like the end of Rockstar as we know it. You can go check that out. But I feel like they have become a victim of their own success. They've just grown too big, and all good things come to an end. So I expect Grand Theft Auto 6 to be a masterpiece, but after that, who knows? Anyways, I hope that answered your question. Question number 3, we have Stagioni. Glad to have you back, mate, and hope all is well. It is. Question, how are you spending your first hours in the game? Are you going to dive straight into the story? Are you going to mess with the NPCs, swimming in the grass rivers, driving your golf cart through the mall? Everyone answers that question differently, and I've answered it differently many different times. But because of the nature of this channel and what it's allowed me to express and do for you guys, and then also, do for my family financially, I'm probably just going to go in straight and just start playing through the story. I don't think I'm going to go in with a fixed mindset, actually. I've talked about in the past, I'm going to sit on a bench and observe NPCs. That's naturally how I kind of play my games anyway. Like, I think Sav and I were talking about it a bit. If you watch my Grand Theft Auto 5 cinematic, like retrospective kind of series, which takes for freaking ever to edit. So I'm sorry about the delay on that. I'm working on that currently. But I walk around, so like the game is not, or like the video is not shot that way to be a video. I had just originally recorded my gameplay that way. And because that's how I play the game. I walk everywhere. I take cabs. I don't steal cars unless like it's an emergency, like stuff like that. I play it as I imagine the characters would. So that's probably how I'm going to do it, is just be like, okay, who's this Jason guy? Who's this Lucia gal? Who are they really? What would they do in this situation? And then approach the world to that, as that, and then see how the world around me reacts. Which approaching games that way actually makes it to where I don't run into a lot of issues with games that people run into issues with. Like games like Fallout 4, where it's very streamlined, like you're on the tracks to go and get your son and stuff like that. That game felt incredibly short to me because I was skipping all the side content to just go after the kid. As the dad, I'm like, well, you wouldn't just leave your kid behind. You would go straight for that. You wouldn't linger with any side quest. You would shotgun it to get to your kid, and then after that, something happens. And then I went and started doing a bunch of side quests. So, yeah. And, people had criticism like, well, you can't really be a bad guy in Fallout 4. Well, I didn't need to be a bad guy in Fallout 4 because I wasn't playing it as one. You see what I mean? I was doing what I thought the character Nate with his dorky sounding accent would do and all that stuff. So what I'm trying to say is I'm just going to approach it as I imagine the characters would. Okay. Good question though. Thanks for asking. And I really appreciate all y'all's questions. Question number 4. Your name is in another language. I think, is that Arabic? I don't know how to read that. Okay. I'm just going to say the first thing that I see here. 3. And has a number 3 there. I have a question about the game Crimson Desert. Can you capture hideouts or fortresses? Or can you capture hideouts of fortresses? I don't know. I made a video about it. And that was that. I didn't actually end up playing it. So, yeah. Sorry. What was that? Question number 4. Question number 5. Claymore. Given most of the Lost Motorcycle Club's leadership is dead and their appearance in Grand Theft Auto Online being questionable in terms of the timeline, I don't think we'll see the Lost again. It seems most of them from Liberty City went with Johnny to San Andreas, and we saw how that ended with Trevor. Yeah, they all died. I reckon we'll hear them mentioned, seeing as Johnny died and died both in universe and in terms of release about 13 years ago. but maybe we'll see former members of the Lost have stayed on the East Coast and joined up with the final chapter MC. Maybe. Who was left? Who did Trevor leave alive? Didn't he kill off all the side characters from the DLC too? I'm pretty sure he did. Like when after he kills Johnny and you go and you hunt down the rest of them, those two guys that are on the motorcycles are like Johnny's homies in Grand Theft Auto 4. So like the main cast is dead. I don't really know. There's not really continuing it. The Lost, I mean, they burned down their MC and then they all died. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing them again in any capacity. I think Rockstar, for lack of a better word, yeeted them. So no, I don't think we're going to see the Lost again. At least not to, like, it would have to be some super side character to where people are like, oh, that's Eddie something such who is in the very back of this one cutscene. In fact, he doesn't even have a last name because he was such a small supporting character. Interesting thing. I know a lot of people love the Lost Motorcycle Club, and it was very upsetting in Grand Theft Auto 5 to then literally destroy them. I thought that was an interesting creative decision. I wasn't a huge fan of it because I really I liked Johnny, you know. I liked him as a character. I thought he was cool. I hated seeing Trevor kill him. I hated that he wasn't able to get Ashley out of addiction and all that, you know, especially knowing people who've been victims of addiction and have died because of it. That really rubbed me the wrong way. And it was part of the reason I really hated Grand Theft Auto 5, other than the arcadey, dumbed down gameplay, which mods have fixed. So that's been nice. Anyways, good question. Now we have Crazed Armadillo. Question, wanted to hear if you had any speculation about the play differences between Jason and Lucia. Oh, and this is question number, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is question number 6. We'll call it question number 6. So you're asking about play differences between Jason and Lucia. Obviously, they have some physical differences, and I'm hoping that translate into the game feel, with characters having different animations and weight behind actions or different technical abilities. Use some of those leaked carjacking tools exclusive to each. I want controlling each character to feel like that character. Edit came back into this comment after looking through more leaks and rumors about the return of abilities similar to Michael's bullet time and Franklin's handling ability. Super excited to see how this play out and hoping bullet time is more like Red Dead's Deadeye. You know, it's funny you asked that question because I think not too long after that, I made the whole they play as one video. Maybe your comment is what inspired that video. But basically, yeah, they're going to be two completely different approaches to how you play the game. At least everything that we've seen has suggested that. That video does a better job of explaining it, obviously. None of this is fresh on my head. I've slept a lot since then. But yeah, you know, Jason, he's going to be more of a brute. Lucia's going to be more agile. Again, this is all just what's been heavily suggested. They're going to play differently, have different fighting styles, different strengths and weaknesses. So when you play with both of them, also they can issue commands to each other. At least we saw that in the alpha leaks. So you'll probably be switching back and forth between each other to accomplish things. So when people are like, oh, I'm going to play as Jason or oh, I'm going to play as Lucia, I always say, no, you're going to play as both of them. They play as one. So yeah, I would fully expect all of that stuff. You know, one's going to do crowd control while the other one does other stuff like rob the store, you know, stuff like that. One will be doing one objective while someone else does the other. So that's what I would expect. Great question. Question number 7, which is great because your profile picture says Pinkerton 7. So now I know that this is question number 7 if I ever have to go back to this. I have a question. Why are you calling the third gang a far-right militia? It has said nothing about far-right, and you said you wouldn't speculate in this vid. Why did I say that? It's been so long. Far-right militia. Oh, well, let's talk about America. GTA 6. Oh, yeah, I pulled it from an article. That's why. Yeah, they're called the right-wing militia. This is just kind of how they're known by. So it's not really speculation. It's more just kind of how they've been referred to. They could be radically different by the time the game ships. Who knows? But yeah, didn't I state in the video where I got that information? I'm sorry if I didn't. But yeah, all of that stuff was pulled from online. So, and you know, different speculation and sources. As stated in the video, I've been very good about that. So yeah, that's why I said that. All right, on to question number 8. Lazy 11123. Hey, homie. I have a really good question, Dandy Andy. How often would you want to see hurricanes occur in Grand Theft Auto 6? Also, if you filter comments with question, you can possibly make a full Q&A video with your comments. I bet, hey, that's what we're doing right now. I bet a ton of people have asked you questions that would be worth answering for a video, but honestly, I don't know. I'm sorry it took 3 months to make that video, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. I hope we see it maybe once with tropical storms in there. I think from a technical standpoint, having hurricanes hit over and over again would just not be possible. Or very fun even because of the restrictions that I would do. Unless you spawned one in, with like the cheat console or whatever when it comes to PC. But I would love to see one in the story, and I would love it to affect the gameplay in that chapter of the story around us so we can experience the world differently. Maybe it's towards the end and there's like some big dramatic thing. Kind of reminds me of that old Incredible Hulk episode. I don't know if you guys grew up and watched the Incredible Hulk from the 1970s, Lou Ferrigno and everything. And he has that wife, or he has this lady that he's with, and she has like an aneurysm or something, or she has a brain tumor, and he's trying to get her to a hospital in the middle of a hurricane because she's dying. Which is a horrible situation to be in. And he's trying not to turn into the Hulk because he's getting angry at being stuck and, passion and all that. Obviously, she doesn't make it. But anyways, that was a tangent. Yeah, I would like to see them happen once with tropical storms interspersed throughout the game. I think that would be the best way to handle it. And then Grand Theft Auto Online could have events around hurricanes, different ones with different names, all that kind of stuff. Maybe a new thing they add is like some sort of weather tracker thing, and players can use it to track that, stuff like that. I don't know. Just fun stuff. They could do a million things with that. Great question. All right. On to Mitch Adler. Forgive me if I mispronounce any of your names. I should never be hired to read people's names out when they graduate. Question. Can you short out me and can you do it? Okay. So you want to shout out and can shout out to Mitch Adler. All right. There's your shout out. And can you do a video from GTA 6 missions? Because I can't wait for story mode and missions in Grand Theft Auto 6 Online. I can't do a video about story missions yet, man, because it would be completely me talking out my ass, but we'll see. Anyways, shout out to you, homie. And I'm sorry that shout out time's gone away. I just don't have the time. It actually takes just as long to add shout out time as it does to do the videos because I have to track you guys down, record it, edit it, all that stuff. Maybe not as long, but like a quarter of the time. Enough to where I had to just be like, okay, I got to stop this or I'm not going to be able to release as many videos as I'd like. Which sucks because I really like doing shout out time for you guys. I really like telling you guys how much I appreciate you because I really do appreciate you. And I don't know, it was like a personal touch on the channel and it really sucks that I'm not doing it anymore. If I find a more creative way of bringing it back, I will. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do one occasionally. I don't know. I just haven't had the time. But yeah, anyways, shout out to you. If I see any more shout outs in here, I'll shout you out. But every question that you guys are asking is basically a shout out, right? I'm reading your username, reading your question, answering it. I don't know. Shout out time's cool. I'm saying all of this to delay getting to this next one. I'm trying to count these as I go so I can have like a firm count for the title. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Damn, already 9 questions. All right, on to question 10. Max Sky. Oh, that's a cool thumbnail you got there. Or profile thing. And I'm hearting you guys as I'm going through so you know that I've answered you. Question. We know Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to carry a lot of features over from Red Dead 2, such as fishing activity and limited weapons systems. What other features do you think we could see? Legendary animals, maybe some photography instead of drawings. Ooh, interesting. Also not going to happen, but I would love to play the OG Grand Theft Auto inside Grand Theft Auto 6. Feel like it would be really meta. Even if they changed its name, took the piss out of people who saw it as nothing but mindless violence. Anyway, sorry for the long post. Hope you're doing well and keep up the awesome work. Your videos have helped keeping me excited for something during these bleak times. Bleak times. Man, I hope you're doing okay. I'm sorry. I know this was 3 months ago. And I try and, when I was working in the service industry, we had this thing called like touch the table, you just, even if people obviously don't need anything, you just want to stop by and just kind of touch the table. At least the managers, they would make their way around and touch tables. And I feel like I should be doing that better with the comments, is like responding to each and every single one of you. But I have grown big enough now to where it's not possible. So I feel bad coming back, reading stuff like this 3 months later and being like, damn, I should have responded. But anyways, I'm going to answer your question now. Yes, I do think we're going to see a ton of stuff transfer over from Red Dead 2. Fishing is going to be in the game. Legendary animals are almost certainly going to be in the game. As far as the whole like photography instead of drawings, I don't know if we're going to have like a journal thing. That's not going to be the focus so much this time. It's going to be the social media systems and stuff. There's a huge thing on like digital influencers and following them and all that kind of stuff, and you posting your stuff and potentially affecting your, how people perceive you in a given region. We've talked about this too in like the videos that came out 7 months ago. So it's really cool to start seeing stuff come out about that now. I don't think we're going to be able to play Grand Theft Auto inside Grand Theft Auto 6. There is a game though that I saw that was hiding behind someone in one of the screenshots that they were doing to hype up the Ultimate Edition. But I don't know the name of what that is because they were sitting in front of it. So, yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be a good time, man. And I hope you're doing all right. And I'm glad that, these videos are helping you get through. It's really awesome to be doing this. I'm trying to transfer over to doing like not Grand Theft Auto stuff all the time because I really want to just nerd out about games, every game that possible with you guys, because this is how I share my passion with you. It just turns out I'm really passionate about Grand Theft Auto 6 and there's a huge demand for it. So that's kind of why this channel has become a Grand Theft Auto 6 channel. But this never started as the intention of being like one of those get rich quick schemes. Oh, I'm going to make a Grand Theft Auto 6 channel. I'm sure you guys have seen all of these shitty AI channels and stuff out there. And I was accused of that initially when I first started because of the animated character and stuff. And people thought my voice was AI, which is really funny. Anyways, thanks for the questions, man. Hope you're doing okay. Now we got another one from Salesmish Adler. So this is question 11. Question: when Grand Theft Auto 6 drops, what videos are you going to post? Oh man, I feel like we're just following up on what I was just saying. Everything. I'm going to talk about whatever is relevant. I really want to talk about the new Fallout game. I just recorded a thing on it. I know the stuff I do that's not Grand Theft Auto related doesn't get nearly as much views, or specifically even Grand Theft Auto 6 related. I talk about Grand Theft Auto 5, it doesn't do as hot. But the bottom line is I want to build a very solid foundation on this channel, talking about all sorts of things gaming. I'll never be Gamer Ranks, because I'm not three guys who've been doing this for like 10 or 15 years. But what I will be is a huge video game nerd who absolutely loves this hobby and wants to talk about it with a bunch of people who appreciate this art form as much as I do. So if a game has my interest and I think it also has a wider interest, I'll cover it. If I was doing it solely based off my interest, we'd be going deep into like Gates of Hell, Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, Ostfront, super niche games like that, which I even have a video out on this channel, or like Squad, which, I'll probably talk about those videos still occasionally. So I'll be talking about all sorts of stuff. And yeah, I'll definitely still be doing Grand Theft Auto 6 videos, but I'm sure that much bigger creators are going to be beating me to the obvious things like tips and tricks, retrospective, what made this great. I'll probably do my level review system that I do for Grand Theft Auto 5, which is like super cinematic. If you guys go check that out, each and every one is getting more cinematic. I'm getting better at it and to where it feels like a movie, and then do Grand Theft Auto 6 like that. So for all the people who are protesting and like, I'm not buying the game unless I get a physical copy, or I'm waiting until PC, but they still want to experience the game, they can go through it that way. Or maybe you've experienced the game, but you want to experience more of it at work, if you work in a job where you can listen to stuff. So yeah, I'll probably do stuff like that. I don't know. That could completely change by the time the game comes out. Or I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Who knows? Thanks for asking that question. All right, on to question 12. We have Lazy again, 11123. Question: how much hours of gameplay do you think Grand Theft Auto 6 will have before you're bored, or for the average player? I'm going to assume it's going to be very similar to Red Dead Redemption 2 in that front. I sank 300 hours into that game for like a full completionist playthrough, and then I found out I didn't do everything. So there's that. Yeah, I would expect that the average person is going to probably spend around 100 to 300 hours in this game if they're a fan. Maybe 50 if they're like not absolutely in love with it. So yeah, it's going to be a game to really sink your teeth into. And then for some people, thousands of hours. People get thousands of hours out of simpler ones like Grand Theft Auto 4. So we'll see, especially with online. If you count online, yeah, easily into the tens of thousands for some people over the next decade. Great question. All right, we have Killer Cameron 94. Question: what's your favorite Grand Theft Auto trailer, and why is it Grand Theft Auto 5's first trailer? It is not Grand Theft Auto 5's first trailer. You sneaky bastard. How you doing, Killer Cameron? Hope you're doing all right, homie. I love it every time you comment and stuff. It's good to see you again. My favorite trailer is really all of the trailers for Grand Theft Auto 4. They built so much hype. Like the first time I saw bullet holes going into the cars, I was like, holy crap, this is different. I don't think you guys understand. Like if you were there, you get it. But seeing like whoa, you shoot something and there's a bullet hole now in Grand Theft Auto was huge. And then the physics engine, it was like, and the sparks and how the papers flew when they hit the newspaper stuff. I was like, my God, this is everything I've ever wanted in a Grand Theft Auto game. Give it to me. And then it turned out to be exactly what I was wanting and more. It exceeded my wildest expectations. Absolutely love Grand Theft Auto 4. So those trailers. That or Red Dead Redemption 1's original trailers, because it kind of came out of nowhere. I was really busy around that time. And all of a sudden my buddy's like, yo, check out these trailers. And I open it up. It's like, in Red Dead Redemption, you know, there's an immersive world. And I was like, what in the hell is this? This looks incredible and beautiful. So I absolutely loved Red Dead Redemption's trailers. So yeah, those. I'm not going to lie. When Grand Theft Auto 5's trailers came out, I was like, And that's kind of how my feelings were when I played the game. So, but my feelings for Grand Theft Auto 6, man, watching those trailers, I'm like, hell yes, this game's going to rock. So yeah. Anyways, let me see. How many have I done now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 questions so far. I'm going to just start keeping track so I stop counting on the podcast. All right, on to question number 14. We have Sage Stevens, 4893. I have a genuine question / statement to make, which doesn't really have anything to do with this video. Which video was this? This was the real water physics video. I've watched almost every Grand Theft Auto 6 video you've put out, and you've been saying, based off of what we have so far, leaked and official, that you have a reason to believe drug trade will be more involved, interactive. As we've seen, we've had every reason to believe that for Grand Theft Auto 5 because of Trevor's business, but it didn't expand on that. And it was very shallow set dressing, one-way missions. How do we know it will be different last time other than they have the hardware to work with? Yes, we know it's going to be better than Grand Theft Auto 5, but unless we're talking visually, it's a very super... Oh, okay, you're talking... Oh, okay, I see. You're saying visuals is a super low bar to top. How do we know that, you know, there's going to be drug trades and stuff like that in it? Well, we know that there is going to be story-wise, because Brian's literally handing them packages to go and deliver. And not only that, but we have it in like the little clips that are hinting at what's going to be in there. Like with the drop that happens in front of Cal that he's there to pick up on a boat. There's also, if you look at all the chase scenes in boats with the police chasing them, there's like a drug package in the boat usually or something. So yeah, it seems like they have planes fly in, drop drugs, and they bring them into the city, you know, through the boats. So yeah, from a story aspect alone, it's going to be part of the game. Now, as far as like, you know, doing business management and empire building and stuff like that, who knows? Who's to say at this point? I don't remember what information I was operating off of when I did that. But what I was telling you about the drug stuff that you're doing on the water, that's going to be a story thing. Good question, though. All right, now on to, what was that, 14? On to question 15. Who do we got? DC Marvel fan 5811. Love listening to these videos while I do work. Makes a boring day slightly less boring. And thanks for answering my questions from the previous vid. You're welcome, man. Sorry, it's been 3 months. So I have another 3 questions for you. Oh no, here we go. First question. What kind of movie references will be most prevalent and give the game a bit more character? Man, I've asked myself that question a lot because it's pretty obvious about like the 1980s stuff, right? You know, for Vice City. I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to pull from for this. For Grand Theft Auto 5, I didn't expect them to pull from Heat. You know, there's robberies in Grand Theft Auto 5 that are straight out of Heat. So I can't give you an honest answer on that. You know, maybe Bad Boys, something like that with the cop stuff because there's going to be police stuff in it. I don't know. Question 2. Do you think if they put any games in Grand Theft Auto 6 as a little mini game in the game, they will put in previous GTAs? Why do people keep asking about this? No, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't. Third question. What new type of mission would you like to see in the game? And how would you like to see it implemented? Good. Okay, that's a great question. I would like to see a mission where, or just more missions to where maybe the task is simple. Maybe it's like, take out this guy. Or maybe it's more like, plant this device on this guy. But it's not like in Grand Theft Auto 5 or any of the more recent ones to where it's like, it holds your hand every step of the way. Now go here, now go there. And it's just kind of like very linear. I think it would be really cool if we were able to use all those tools and gadgets at our disposal to accomplish that mission. The objectives could be incredibly mundane. It's not really about that. It's about the journey. It's about how you get there. You can look at Metal Gear Solid 5 for a good example of that. Like extract this target, take out this target, you know, this kind of stuff. But because of the open nature of the gameplay and all the tools at your disposal, it's completely up to you how you challenge or how you overcome these challenges. That's what I want to see, because that's what made the original Grand Theft Autos in the 3D universe. Not so much 1 and 2, because they were a little, it's not they were on the rails. It's just they were very simple. But for the time, they were very open and cool. But in 3, 4, or not 3, but in 3, San Andreas and Vice City, it was a lot more open on how you even approach things. I think even Grand Theft Auto 4 was a little bit more open on how you could approach things compared to like Grand Theft Auto 5. But Grand Theft Auto 5 had us doing such big cinematic things that they kind of had to keep us on the rails. So I hope they take a more grounded approach with things, and it's less about like, over the top stuff and more about making it feel grounded and real. Because when you do that, you don't need those big over the top action spectacles. Instead, what you do carries more weight. So it feels more immersive, feels better. I like how Red Dead Redemption 2 did it. Now, I know we're probably going to be on a plane fighting a woman on the wheels or whatever, because I saw that in the trailers. We've all seen that. And I do hope we have those big over-the-top James Bond moments, but I hope that it's just a little bit more spaced out, instead of going like bam, 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 like Grand Theft Auto 5 did. So I hope that answers your question. I'm going to heart it. Or no, I already did. All right. On to the next question. Question number 16. Koshia Tintis. Sorry if I'm butchering your names, homie. You should talk about how Rockstar will balance Grand Theft Auto 6 between keeping the goofy, fun, and reckless feeling of Grand Theft Auto 5 and also using the series' realistic, cinematic, and environmental feeling of Red Dead Redemption 2. I think this is a good question to ask because it would please a lot of people if they both if they want both feels at once. It would be very impressive to see Rockstar mix these two and do it well. Also, I love how the videos are edited. You keep it very interesting and informational. Man, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And that was on the GTA 6's economy video, which is funny because I thought that video would bomb. And that ended up being like one of the best performing videos on the channel. So it's kind of funny how that works. Thank you so much for the kind words. I've talked about this, I think, a lot. What if I just did that for every question? I've talked about this a lot. Next question. I'm not going to do that. So it's going to have a lot of goofiness that like Grand Theft Auto 5 had, right? It might even get a little grim like Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't think so, though. I think what it's going to be is very similar to Red Dead Redemption 2. They found a formula there that really worked. Give us a character that's morally gray, have us do all the fun stuff up front, make the journey fun, but not so like, hey, we got to go now, that kind of thing, so that people have an experience, or have a reason to like experience the world around them. Even though this is going to be an on-the-run story, at least for some portion of it, from what we've seen. So, yeah, I feel like, you just look at the mechanics they're throwing in there from Red Dead Redemption 2, throw us in Grand Theft Auto 6 with these new mechanics. That slower, more grounded, methodical approach will kind of feel as immersive as a game like Cyberpunk while allowing the, flexibility of a game like Red Dead Redemption 2. And then you have your goofy, wild characters. And Red Dead Redemption 2 had plenty of funny, goofy, wild characters, especially in Red Dead Redemption 1. Different game, I know, but yeah, 2 had some wackiness to it. So a lot of wackiness. I hope they bring the creepy stuff from Red Dead Redemption 2 in as well. So yeah. Anyways, I hope that answered your question. I've talked about that a lot in other videos, but I hope that, is something. Anyways, John 3007, this is question number 17. Question, how much would you pay to get it early? And another question, what car will you buy first and online? Well, I've already paid for it. To pay to get it early, I don't want to get it early. I want to play it when everybody else has it. It would be incredible for YouTube traffic, right? But, there would be no way to actually show any of you guys that, especially with how they are about spoilers and stuff. For cars, I don't really care about cars, I'll be honest. So I don't know. Whatever looks cool. If it looks like it's from Mad Max, I'll probably get it. I like muscle cars, I guess. So yeah. I'm not much of a car guy. It just never clicked. So sorry. Okay, let's see. I'm going to stop counting the questions. Jack Ben 1289. Hey, Andy, I have a question. Who are you most excited to play as in Grand Theft Auto 6? Jason, Lucia, both. I personally can't wait for Lucia because, as we know, you can definitely tell an amazing story behind her. You can definitely tell that there's an amazing story behind her. Sorry, I'm trying to not to be rude, but like translate what you're saying. I know what you're trying to say. And we've seen in video games, movies, and TV, incredible female crime protagonists. And I think that this female protagonist perspective along with her really interesting backstory, would be groundbreaking. But I also can't wait for Jason because we know Rockstar is very good at creating the tough, complex, deeply emotional, yet skilled male protagonists like Arthur and Nico. So what are your thoughts? That's an interesting question and I like it. So as far as like on a gameplay thing, I've already talked to you guys about how like they're going to play as one, it's going to be more tactical. But from a story standpoint, you have a guy like Jason who is probably going to be like an Arthur Morgan or like a John Marston, or a Nico Bellic. Maybe closer to like Arthur Morgan, but he's going to be very, he's going to have his own thing. But yeah, you've said it yourself, very tough, complex, deeply emotional, yet skilled male protagonist. I think adding taking what's already worked, putting it in the game and allowing the players to be that, Jason's still going to have his own vibe and everything. But then, also throwing in a girl who he's wrapped up with is a really cool and interesting decision because, Lucia is going to be her full fleshed out own character. And that's going to be really cool because we've never seen what this world would look like from a woman's perspective. I think that's cool. But also I think it's cool because, a lot of people wanted Arthur's relationship to work with, in Red Dead Redemption 2, and obviously it was doomed. But, I guarantee you, if you had a game where you could play as both of them and they were outlaws on the run, people would be like, sign me up. So, I think that it'll be interesting to have that other perspective on this deeply tough, complex, emotional, skilled male protagonist guy. You know what I mean? We'll have another lens and we'll be able to see how he reacts to her. And they're going to be able to kind of bounce off of each other with some interesting dialogue and different takeaways from various circumstances and, things that happen to them. So I think it's going to open up, a little bit more of a complex approach to the writing, which I'm excited about because a lot of the RDR2 team is writing this game. So I think it's going to be excellent. And I'm really excited to see that. It's funny too, because you could see her getting her nails done in the screenshots. And I think it's going to be funny, seeing how guys go about doing that. A lot of people probably aren't even going to mess with it. But I'm sure some guys are going to be like, whoa, they have to do this? Women have to do this? Oh yeah, they do have to do that to look pretty, and we've seen the level of complexity that goes into it. So, the different makeup styles and stuff. It's going to be interesting. Men who are married or men who have girlfriends, you're going to learn a lot about like makeup and stuff from Grand Theft Auto. It'll be like how Grand Theft Auto taught us all to drive growing up. You'll be able to tell your lady or whatever, like, hey, Grand Theft Auto taught me taught me what you got to do for your nails. And then you can go in there and tell her she's doing her nails wrong and stuff like that. And then, start an argument. So jokes aside, I think it is going to be really interesting to have that second, perspective. They say behind every great man is a better woman and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. I think men should respect themselves and, also have respect from their partner and vice versa. So I'm not sure, always calling someone like that the better half, it kind of puts the man down a little bit. But, men do that because, at least in the South, we are very polite to our women. So at least a lot of us are. So anyways, what am I on about? Well, what I'm on about is it'll be really interesting to see Lucia's perspective on Jason. How's she going to perceive the things that he does, his little mannerisms, the things that she might find cute about him. We're going to be able to learn more about Jason because we have Lucia's perspective. We're going to be able to learn more about Lucia because we have Jason's perspective. It's kind of like if you played Metal Gear Solid 2 and they take away the ability to play as Snake and you're playing as Raiden, you learn a lot more about Solid Snake and get kind of more of his personality, witnessing him from another character's shoes. And it's a great way to tell a story. I think they did go too big with Grand Theft Auto 5 and the 3-character split. And that they also had kind of like different goals with that than they do this time. This seems to be more from a writing standpoint, having these two characters witness and perceive each other. And, they're in a relationship. So it's going to be dramatically different. And it also sets it up perfectly for them to break our hearts. So I'm excited. Good question. Next question, Ghetto Guide, WG7GD. Can't wait for it. I left hella questions. Oh no, there's no questions. Well, you're in the video or the podcast. So there you go. I'm going to heart it and count this as a question. Screw it. All right, we have Lee 4H073. Question, do you think the game will start with Lucia in prison and Jason going to get her out, or do you think it'll happen throughout the game? Because at first I thought it would start with her in prison, but I was rereading the website and it says about Jason meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him, which could mean so many things. We also see screenshots of Lucia walking through prison. So do you think there's a chance we get to play as Lucia while she's locked up? Yes, I think the game will probably open with Lucia locked up. But even before that, I think it'll probably start off with us just doing a day in the life as Jason for a long time. Get our shoes wet as the standard male protagonist. And then spice things up, switch on over to Lucia. It could start with her in prison. But I think we're going to have a good day in the life chapter independent of one another. And then, and see what it would be like in that universe to be in prison. I think that if they don't do that, they're wasting a lot of potential because there's all these jokes over the years of like, you should be able to go to prison. And not even jokes, but even honest to God suggestions of you should be able to go to prison in Grand Theft Auto 6 or in Grand Theft Auto. It'd be really cool if you got to go to prison and see what it's like. And I think it would be really interesting to see how Rockstar approaches kind of like our privatized prison system here in the United States and what commentary they could have on that. It would be pretty interesting, especially knowing someone who's goes into them a lot. So I think it'd be cool. So yeah, I think it'll probably start off with her locked up, him doing his day in the life. In which order, I'm not sure what we'll see first. And then we'll go and get her out. But it could even start way before that. Who knows? It could also start with like a robbery gone wrong, kind of like Grand Theft Auto 5. All right. We have Farm Boy Spence. Hey, what's up, man? Question. Hey, Andy. Hope you're doing well. I'm curious. When you first download the game and boot it up, do you think you'll dive headfirst into the campaign story missions, or do you think you'll take a while to explore and walk around and get acclimated to the new environment, doing little side missions and interactions? Love the content. Keep it up. Thanks for the question. And I've already answered this, so yeah, I'll just say it again. I'm going to pretty much just go with what I think the character would do. If I'm walking somewhere, and I think it makes sense for Jason to go over to this side marker activity and do the side activity at that time, then I'll do it. I like to play the games immersively. In Grand Theft Auto 4, for example, every time we get to the apartment and Roman's like, hey, come by the cab office or whatever later. I go to sleep as Nico, get up, I have him watch TV for a bit, have him go outside, get a hot dog. I also play with mods, so he's, he'll go out for a cigarette and stuff like that. And then I have him literally just walk to the cab depot. And I appreciate the world around me. And on the way there, either this time or another time, there's that guy who's really high. I think his name's Brian. He gives you $100, tells you to go mine salt for 50 years or whatever. So I make sure to run into him there. So, these things make it feel more like a TV show. They make it feel more cinematic if you kind of approach it this way. So that's how I will be approaching this game. So thanks for asking, man, and hope you're doing all right. All right. Next question. Melt with you. My only problem with the social media and surveillance aspect is the fact that we get enough. Or are you asking a question here? I'm just going to read this. My only problem with the social media and surveillance aspect is the fact that we get enough of it in the real world. So how is all of this going to affect gameplay? Meaning that there comes a point when realistic real world aspects can become tedious for gameplay. If no matter where you turn, there's a camera, either from world surveillance or NPCs, how's it going to affect the player having fun in the game? If everything you do is seemingly being recorded at any point and ties to the police system. Well, hold on, I'll stop you there. Have you played Cyberpunk? You're going to have tools to get rid of these things. It makes it interesting. You have to plan, you have to strategize, stuff like that, Not being able to just do something and actually having a challenge to overcome is what makes games fun. Challenges, the reason you play a game is to overcome a challenge. At least that's how video games started, and have a fun gameplay loop. So, these things might be there, but not necessarily all the time. You can be in an alleyway. You can be out in the sticks. You could be on the docks. I'd imagine that there's going to be places that are more surveilled than others. And yeah, how would you get away with it in real life? You don't really get to test that out in real life because, well, one, you're not a sociopath. And two, that's it. We all play on Iron Man mode. We all play on permadeath mode. So these things that you're interested in real life, you wouldn't be able to do. So now, guess what? You get to save and reload. So how would you approach that situation? How would you overcome those obstacles? This is why tactical shooters are so cool. Because you can get killed in them and start back over and try new techniques and tactics. It's really interesting. So you also asked, what if an NPC runs into your car, starts a fight with you, there's a shooting, and you fight back to save yourself? Is that going to be taken into account? Are you going to gain some sort of wanted level? I'd imagine if you draw a gun, there's going to be a wanted level because you're going to be a criminal. And if you have a firearm, at least while you're committing a crime or whatever in Texas, and I imagine Florida's gun laws are very similar, if you have a firearm while committing a crime, it doesn't matter if you legally had it or not, that automatically enhances it. Which we had a thing in Texas where people are getting pulled over with weed but they are also concealed carry peeps. And, some people, they're not smoking the weed or anything like that. They're waiting until they get home or whatever. And, all of a sudden you got like a felony charge and stuff like that. So ridiculous stuff like that. Anyways, that's a tangent. But I mean, you shouldn't be smoking weed and messing around with firearms. You should do the two independently if you do them. I don't smoke weed. Not anymore. Used to. But why am I talking about that? But no, I don't think that there's going to be like you getting into it with the police and them being like, okay, now you're arrested. Because what happens, okay, so in a real self-defense shooting, what happens is you're probably going to get arrested, even if you were legally within your rights. Because the police, they don't know. They got to sort everything out, right? So if you're like in the street, especially, and you get into a road rage incident, and a guy comes at you with like a baseball bat or something, and you shoot him and the police show up, you're most likely going to get arrested and have your gun confiscated for like a year, and have to go through a bunch of legal stuff. And it's a pain in the ass. Because, these are kind of once in a lifetime things that happen to people, maybe twice or three. And it really depends. Unless like you're being broken into in the middle of the night and the guy's armed and stuff like that. There are rare exceptions where the police will probably just let you go, but you're most likely going to be arrested. So yeah, it makes sense that the police would try and arrest you right after that. But you're also saying that you worry about there being too many cameras or a lot of surveillance because it can make the gameplay tedious. You're saying that you could spend a vast majority of your time simply evading police because accidental situations happen, either by game error or incidental NPC interactions. Sorry. I actually cut the episode here because I had to run and do something and I like sprinted back to the seat. So I'm a little out of breath. Well, I would say look at Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay. Like that. Yeah, there might be some annoyances and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think it's Rockstar. I think they got it. I don't think it's going to be tedious. I think it's going to be more interesting. And maybe sometimes a little bit of tedium is nice. I play games that take a lot of micro. If you know what that means like you have a lot of things that you have to do in a given situation, but it opens up a lot more freedom and complexity. So I'm okay with that. It's a mature rated game. It's for adults. Adults can handle complexity. Adults can handle making multiple decisions, at once. It's fun. So we'll see. With the game world becoming ever so intricate in these games, I'm wondering if you're able to try different jobs in single player, meaning you could do like a taxi driving missions. Will that be expanded upon in this game? Could I be a cop, chase down criminals via car chases? You think that would be really cool. Also, I do too. Also, the NPCs having some sort of memory. Can you develop friendships with random NPCs? Could they help you do stuff? There's a lot of questions. I think there's going to be some taxi driving stuff because I think that it's been in every single Grand Theft Auto except for like Grand Theft Auto 5. But like, it'd be like Uber, in this game world, I'm assuming. As far as the police thing, there's kind of some like conspiracies going around, like maybe one of the potential characters is tied up with law enforcement and stuff like that. So if that is true, I would expect, however we're doing this law enforcement stuff to be tied up in that. Maybe there's some sort of protagonist that, Jason and Lucia are the main character, but occasionally we switch over to them as just kind of like a fun, outside perspective and we do police stuff. That would be really cool. But I don't know. Also, you're talking about NPCs having memory. You're not going to be making friendships with random NPCs. Where that's going to be is more like digital online influencers. That's the system they're putting into this game. So I imagine relationships with different influencers and stuff like that would be more of that relationship mechanic. And then the friends that you have in the actual story mode. As far as like the NPC memory, it's going to be more tied to like regions like Red Dead Redemption 2. Like in Valentine, if you shot up the place, you come back, they comment on it, stuff like that, So stuff to just kind of make you feel more immersed in the world, but not so intricate to where you find some NPC on the street and you start a relationship with them and then have babies with them and Lucia slits their throat in their sleep because she's jealous, nothing like that. So many questions and so many systems that I want to play with when this game releases, if it ever does. Hey, it's locked in now. It's coming. This is a 2-month-old post. So yeah, I feel you. Anyways, great questions. Thanks for asking. All right, next question is from Wesley Vanos. Hi there, Andy. I'm incredibly proud of you for being able to say the things you want to say, need to say, vent about, takes courage. Oh, this is on the one where I got sappy. Okay, you put a bunch of kind words and then you said that you have a question, but you'll ask it separately. Okay, here is his question. Thanks for those kind words, by the way. It means a lot. Um, Anyways, what do you think about Michael Jackson? Have you seen the movie? If not, you definitely should. It's it's a great getaway into kind of getting to know him and why/how he became the person he did. It's kind of deep. I haven't seen the new Michael Jackson movie. I'll check it out. There's the recommendation right there. You know, a lot of movies I go see on recommendation. So, yeah, I'll go check it out. I'll see if I can talk the lady into watching that with me. Well, thanks for asking, because now I know what I'm doing tonight. Big Bash 8011. Hey, Andy, question. What would your dream version of the Elder Scrolls 6 be like? Where would you have it be set? What story would you go for? What returning features from the older games would you like to see make a comeback? And what new features do you want that have been used in newer fantasy RPGs as of late? I appreciate your time, and may you have the most blessed day. Man, thank you so much for that comment. And it's really cool to get an Elder Scrolls 6 question, especially before I even did the Elder Scrolls 6 video. You know, honestly, I loved the Skyrim setting. It was really dope. I think Hammerfell, was it High Rock and all that is where we're going to go. It would be nice to have, like, I don't know, a new location. I personally am a sucker for Cyrodiil. Like, I love that, like, Lord of the Rings vibe. I feel like Skyrim even delivered on that a little better. I like anywhere, really, as long as it's not, like, super weird. But then there's Morrowind, and that's pretty interesting, too. Really, I just want it to be a world where I don't feel like I'm visiting it and I'm trying to get back somewhere, if that makes sense. Like Skyrim, I felt like I could settle there. Cyrodiil, I felt like I could settle there. There's like Black Marsh, and I don't feel like I could settle there. You know what I'm saying? So I think those locations that it's looking like it's going to be like Hammerfell, High Rock with the Iliac Bay or whatever, I feel like that's going to be a great setting and the logical next step for where they should go. What I want to see is something I've wanted to see in Fallout and Skyrim, and stuff that you have to add via mods. Basically, the stuff I do when I mod those games is just try and flesh out the vanilla experience and make it to where it is just the base game, but way better. So Gate to Sovngarde for Skyrim, for example, is an excellent one-click install mod pack. It takes all day to install, but when it's done, oh my God, is it great. And I would really like to actually have time to play that, but I don't really have a lot of time to play games. So when I do, it's, I've been reading books. I've been reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson lately, and I just read R.F. Kuang, I think that's how you say your name, The Poppy Wars, whatever. Great first book. I haven't read the other two, but so I read a lot of books too. Well, not a lot. Vincent reads way more than I do. I read at a snail's pace. But, I need to get back into it. I normally like to play that around Christmas, Skyrim, Fallout, all those kind of games. I don't know why. I just do. But with kids, it's really hard to get immersed the way that I used to, which really sucks. But I have a handheld for it. The kids don't suck, but like the not being able to get immersed in it sucks. That'll change though. I mean, kids get older, and the older they get, the closer I get to the grave. So, I know a lot of guys who are older and they've had their kids, and games really become prevalent and come back into their life. I'm not abandoning them in the time being. This turned into some weird tangent. I'm sorry, I do that a lot. And that's because this episode has been split up between me going to do stuff for the kids and then coming back. And hopefully you guys don't even notice the cuts. Wouldn't that be interesting? So yeah, that's where I would have it set, because that's where it's logically going to go. And just to clarify, I absolutely love my children. It's just I don't have a lot of time to play games, and I miss that. But that will come back, and children are your children. Family first. Yeah, I don't want to sound like an ungrateful dickhead. But anyways, what features do I want from the older games? And okay, so when I was talking about these mod packs, what I was trying to say is one of my biggest complaints with these games is if I click on something, I don't see my character reach out their arm, or like I don't really feel like the world really responds to what I do. So I want to see the NPCs go more the direction of like how Rockstar Games is doing it, but still have the trees to talk with and everything, like the character speech trees. Also, Starfield felt too foo-foo, like it was too cleaned up. I want things to feel raw. I want them to feel realistic. That the world is a dark place. It is okay to have darkness in your world and it be represented in a realistic way. I really love the Some Guy Series 2000 mods for New Vegas. He goes more Quentin Tarantino with it, but I think it makes sense for the universe. So I want them to explore some darker topics. Go get a little grimdark with it. But also, like, I want to be able to have survival mechanics, set up my camp places. The problem with Bethesda is they build these amazing worlds, these truly fantastic worlds, and you have absolutely no reason to live in it or to do anything in it. You just, ping pong around between different people and do those missions, fetch quests and stuff for them. And it's like, y'all, look at what the modders are doing. And they have. There's ways to feel like you live in the world. And one of those big things is to have simple needs, have the ability for it, which is why they're starting to add it into the games. But don't just give us simple needs to where we have to open up like 7 different UI things to eat a sweet roll. Make it to where we could sit down and have a meal as fluidly as you can in Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 came with simple needs. Like, it's not even you can't turn it off. It's in the game. You have a core systems. That's a simple needs system. And it's great. It's brilliant. It works great. I love it. I love the ability to have to bathe and all that kind of stuff. If you play Gate to Sovngarde and you spawn in Bruma, I always I have my character to where it's like he's coming up from Cyrodiil into Skyrim. I have him stay at the inn, and then he goes back, and one of the first things he does is take a bath there. And I meet some Argonian guy who's talking about overthrowing the Empire, and they just, in a bath, in a public bathing house, have like this political discussion. It was so immersive. And then my guy goes and lights up his pipe and thinks it over and sits out, and then he prays because, he's religious. There's all these little systems and stuff that allow you to really live out your character, that add intricate, stat buffs and all that kind of stuff that make the gameplay infinitely more interesting. So they've built the world. Just take the systems that modders are doing that make the game feel true and lived in and put it in the damn game. I'm tired of like clicking on something to take it in my inventory and it just disappears and it's in my inventory. Show my character grabbing it. If I consume a potion, show my character drinking it. If I sit down and I go in my inventory and I click on a food, spawn a plate in front of my guy and have him eat it for a little bit, make it feel real. That way, like if I'm sitting there, like there's no reason to drink in the game, but they have all these bars, right? In Skyrim, all these taverns. Have it to where if I go and sit down at a tavern and I start drinking, I can actually see my character drink, and he's drinking next to someone and can talk to them while physically, drinking the thing. And you can do that with mods, and it's so cool. It feels so immersive. These are the things that are missing. Also, just more interesting random NPC bits. Not every NPC needs your help with something. Some of them could just have political ideals on what's going on in the region and challenge your beliefs, and just have discussions. There should just be NPCs that just talk to you the way people talk without them going, oh my God, my sister died 3 years ago and she left a ring in a cave that's like on the other side of the map. Can you go get it? That's not how things go. So make it more believable. It's okay to get to a location and have a fetch quest be just, hey, can you help me with my chickens? One got out. Small things like that, because I find that kind of stuff is infinitely more rewarding than shooting you all the way across the map. Have a couple of quests here and there that are big and really heavy on the scripting and give you a real reason to go out that feels like a real adventure. And along the way, have these smaller, more immersive kind of things happen in your locations. And this is just game design in general. I feel like Rockstar Games nailed this in Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's what I'm talking about. I just wish we could, if Red Dead Redemption 2 could have any improvement, it would be a little bit closer to Bethesda, to where there's just more people to talk to and interact with. But I feel like they did it well enough. Red Dead Redemption 2 still to this day feels like it's made with dark magic. So that's what I hope to see. They need to look at what Rockstar's doing, because Rockstar's been looking at what they're doing. So great question. Now we have, let's see, Ling 9700. Question. With the more in-depth limited carrying capacity or weapon capacity, do you think the larger weapons that you carry, this is about Grand Theft Auto 6, do you think that the larger weapons that you carry on your back will cause more suspicion, especially if you rob a store? Do you think we might have to ditch or get rid of weapons? That is a great question. And I do think so to some extent, because there's that screenshot or like the leak stuff with Lucia carrying the rifle on her back and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you can carry a rifle openly in Florida and stuff like that, but unless you're doing it like a protest or something, it's probably going to look a little weird to people. Maybe not completely weird. It wouldn't be so shocking like it would be if you were to do that in, like, say, New York or something, but it would be somewhat shocking. So I think, we're probably going to have some weirdness around like having your weapon. Like if you draw your weapon, it might scare some NPCs. I hope to see stuff like that. I don't want it to get to the point where it's like, oh my God, he's brandishing his weapon, and then all of a sudden you're surrounded by police, stuff like that. But I do think just a little bit more interaction of like, hey, oh my God, he's got a gun. Just stuff like that would be interesting. So I do hope to see something like that. Great question. Jimbo7690, question. Do you think the ragdoll from GTA 5 will come back? I know you like realism, but I always enjoy running around just launching myself towards pedestrians. Have you played Grand Theft Auto 4, good sir? Because it is infinitely better if you like the ragdoll physics. GTA 5 actually dumbed them down quite a bit. Yes, those are coming back. And not knocking GTA 5, they had to dumb it down for the hardware because it was released for the Xbox 360. They wanted those original Euphoria physics. But yeah, dude, get ready. Physics are going to be crazy in this next game. Like, absolutely out of this world. I would expect Red Dead Redemption 2 level physics, which are insane. So, yeah. Yeah, it's the Euphoria physics engine. It's been there since Grand Theft Auto 4. It was a little dumbed down for 5, a little more turned up for Red Dead. It's going to be great. And if you haven't already, if you're playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, get the Live Leak Euphoria physics mod. It is so good. It is so good. It'll make you think twice before you shoot someone because you're going to feel really bad because of how real it looks. All right. Sofa King. Sofa King. I'm dumb. 856. Question. Are you getting the PS5 Pro for GTA 6? Yes, I did. I did do it. I finally did it. This is 2 months ago, so this is before. So, great question. Now we have Pink Boonery. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. 1745. Question. I love that you said you have stories. Upon GTA 6's release, would you be open to doing background footage of your gameplay and then a voiceover with stories every once in a while, such as like story time with Dandy Andy? Man, I would love to do that because I can yap for hours. Much love to you, buddy. You are wonderful to listen to while working. I will be following you into the far future. As well, appreciate your authenticity. Congratulations with the kiddos and to the future kiddo, who is now the current kiddo. 2 kiddos. Thank you so much. That means really, that means so much. I love seeing like all these well wishes about my kids and stuff on the channel because it's incredibly sweet, for you guys to wish that. It's awesome. It gives me hope in the human race. Yeah, in fact, something I've been thinking about doing with Grand Theft Auto 6 is doing what I've been doing with my Grand Theft Auto 5 thing, where I kind of go mission by mission and make it like really immersive. I think that would be really cool. Like kind of do like a narrative storytelling kind of approach to it. I think that would be really neat. So that's probably what I'll do with that. But maybe, podcast is a good place to shoot the shit. So maybe I'll put up some GTA 6 footage here eventually and just kind of talk to you guys. Who knows? Whatever you're interested in, I'll do. Thanks for your question. Revbo Media. Love your videos, man. You are my main inspiration for YouTube now. That's awesome, man. I hope to one day speak so easily and engagingly as you. Man, I appreciate that because I'm an awkward dude. No one else I listen to ramble on for 3 hours and not get bored. Man, that means a lot. Keep it going, Andy. This is cool. This is on the 131 GTA 6 questions video. I wonder if we're going to pass that this time. Question, is this your full-time job? As I'm starting out, I'm finding it very hard working a full-time job to come home and go through the process. Try and make a video to be relevant with timing and seeing everyone in the world upload it being old news by the time. Dude, I feel that. No, this is not my full-time job. And I actually work 2 other jobs. So I do video marketing for a law firm. And it is very much a full-time job. I've worked many Christmases, I've worked Christmas Eve and all that. It is remote, which is dope because if I finish a project for them or if I'm caught up, I could switch back to this. Theoretically, it hasn't really played out like that because we've been very busy. And then sometimes I travel to shoot. So yeah, for that job, it's been pretty hectic. And then I also work for a tequila company that's starting in Texas. And I do their video promotional stuff. And on top of that, I do this. And then I have a family with 2 kids. So there's not really any free time ever. When I talk, I do a lot more talking about video games than I do playing them. It's just awesome that I've had, my whole life I've played them so I could speak about them. And I've played all these games. So now it's finally I bottled up all of these thoughts and stuff and I can finally let them out. And there's no way to play Grand Theft Auto 6 right now. So yeah, but I still do find time to play games, just not as often as I used to. I do want this to be my full-time job though. 100%. The only reason I haven't made the jump yet is I have kids and also because Grand Theft Auto 6 is fickle, right? When it's out, I'm not going to be getting the ad revenue I have been getting. It is what it is. I know a lot of people are going to keep watching videos and stuff because they're freaking awesome, but just simple fact of the matter is ad revenue is going to go off the cliff. Is what it is. I'm okay with that. I'm very lucky and fortunate to even be doing this. But I've spent my whole life doing video. I've grown YouTube channels for other companies. You know, I've grown it for a life insurance company. I've grown it for the law firm. There's a lot of red tape and stuff with all these organizations, and it drives me nuts. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to make my own YouTube channel and talk about what I want to talk about, and it's doing better than theirs. So, you know, that's kind of why I started doing this. Is just, I'm like, I grow these YouTube channels for these people. Why am I not just doing it for myself? And then I don't have to like jump through loopholes to like do something that's going to help out their channel. Like, I don't know, it drives me nuts. So yeah, I would love to do this full time. For you as a YouTuber, there's no other way around it. It's a grind. You're going to see a lot of these stupid AI channels out there that are like, they look like they're easy to do, and they, you know, and all that stuff. They get demonetized. Yeah. And if they haven't been caught yet, they will. And they also don't really build like a core audience who's going to be with you along the way, if that makes any sense. Because ultimately people, I think, show up for authenticity and the dude. Like when I watch, I just call him Penguin Zero, but Charlie, when I watch him, he's huge now, right? I've been watching him since before he was huge. Like I sound like a hipster, but I've always just liked his personality. I watch him for him, you know? So be that guy, you know? If you're doing a faceless channel, like I'm kind of doing, sometimes I put my face on here, but well, what do you mean faceless? My face is in the video. It's just kind of, you know, different angle with glasses on. But what I'm saying is just be authentic. Don't overproduce it. Your audio is super important, and have something to say, and say it with conviction. And you really need to be passionate about what you're doing. And it is round the clock work. When I'm not working on my day job or taking care of my family, I am doing this. And I'm doing this with constant interruptions to go and take care of my family, and then coming right back to it. Some nights I feel completely burnt out and exhausted. I'm like, why am I doing this? But I don't know. It's also exciting and really cool. Life speeds up because you're just working 24/7. I'm working harder than I've probably ever worked before. Always, every day. You know, I don't brag. I don't want, and I'm not trying to brag about it. I hate it when people brag about like, oh, I worked 17 hours, and it's like, great, that sucks. You know, like, I'm sorry you had to do that. You know, in a perfect world, I would just be able to make these willy-nilly, put them out as I want. Money wouldn't be an issue for anyone, and we could just, you know, do whatever we want, travel, all that kind of stuff. But that's not the world we live in, so it is what it is. Anyways, good luck on your YouTube journey. If any of you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, you can do it. I started a YouTube channel in the most competitive niche, starting from nothing 7-8 months ago. And well, I started like 2 years ago and then made a video and stopped. You know, you can go back and look at my history and see where it started. It's a grind. It really is a grind. Don't worry about people beating you to topics, because after they beat you to the topic, and I've actually just kind of figured this out today. Like I wanted to talk about the new Fallout, but everybody else has already talked about it. So now I have a video that will probably be out either by the time I'm done making this, or like by the time this is out, or like right after, about like the top 5 locations that I'd like to see for the next Fallout game. So, you know, you're not going to be able to stay on top of trends and stuff like that. It does help you with your growth. What you want is what's called evergreen content. And that is not what I do here. And I should. And this is why my ad revenue is going to fall off the cliff the second Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. It's because all these hype videos don't mean anything anymore. People just stop watching them. And the algorithm is smart. It will stop serving them because it knows. It's pretty interesting. So, you know, that's why I like to release smaller videos that maybe get 3,000 views here, 4,000 views there, about other things I'm interested in, because they'll last forever. And they can always pick up traffic. So if you're going to ride the, you know, hype cycles and stuff like that, just make sure you're also paying attention to creating core foundational content, especially if you want this to be full-time. And I'm there with you. I'm learning. I'm very blessed to be doing this. It could be taken away overnight. Everyone always tells me that. But I also would argue I could be fired overnight. So like I could be fired at my job. It's the same risk, the exact same risk. So, I mean, if you want to do this full-time and you're in a position and you got a little bit of money saved up, go for it. But you're not going to make a lot. You're not going to make a lot. This is a very low RPM, which is fine, because, you know, if I was doing this solely for money, like 100% for money, I would go do like finance, because they get like super high RPMs, or like do computer stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff. and share your skills that. I could probably do a video editing thing and it would do better, but I would be bored to tears. I hate that. My least favorite part of creating videos is editing, which sounds dumb, right? I like the end result. I like what editing brings, but I hate the grind. Hate it. But I do it for the love of it. So I don't know. Don't let it consume your life like it has mine. And just say that, it's cool and stuff up on this end of it. But, behind the scenes, there's a lot of like planning with the woman. Like maybe I didn't spend enough time with her one day because I was like, no, I got to get this out, stuff like that. And so that's something I have to work on. So make sure if you have loved ones, especially if you have children, that you're giving them the time they deserve. It's something I had to work on and I've gotten better at because my channel didn't actually start getting any subs until I already had my first kid. So I already kind of had that work balance figured out. But the second kid I'm playing on European Extreme, or like the hardest mode that you can do YouTube on, with 2 jobs, 2 kids, a wife, 2 dogs, 3 cats. So, but if I could do this full time, absolutely would. Anyways, sorry guys. I know like we're here for Grand Theft Auto 6 and stuff, and I'm over here talking about like YouTuber stuff. But if you're thinking about starting a channel and you want to do it instead of like working another job, I'll tell you, it's still a job. What do you really want? Why are you doing YouTube? I make videos. I've always made videos. I make music. I've always made music. I grow YouTube channels for other people. It's just, I've edited since I was 13. So damn, how long has that been? 18 years now. I've been editing videos and shooting videos for 18 years. So worked a lot of different jobs, done corporate work, ad work. Nothing on movies. Well, I did like a series, like a web series that bombed. I don't even remember the name of it. It was like a steampunk web series thing. Oh, I did also try to shoot like a battle scene. And it was like called The Protectors of Thrall or something like that. And we had like all of this lore that we built and everything. And we, being good old boys from Texas, we borrowed cameras from the church. And oh my God, they really didn't want us to take them. This is back when I worked at the church. And we went out in the sticks to go shoot this big epic battle scene. Well, one of the actors had a panic attack, like a really bad one, because they didn't have their meds or something, and it ruined them for the whole day. Like it wasn't even a panic attack. It was more like psychosis or something. It was really intense. So that sucked. And then the camera just broke. Like it just stopped working. And also there was a bull that was messing with us on the land, and we just left completely defeated. And sometimes YouTube feels that way because you could work for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on a video. No one cares. No one cares how much you put. The videos I put out with the least amount of effort do the best. And if I was in this game to just do the least amount of effort possible and make the most money possible, I would be doing that. But like my Grand Theft Auto 5 series where I go through it like all cinematically and stuff, it's not like that. It's oh my God, it's so much work for very little return. But the return that I get is the fulfillment of completing it. So that's what I'm saying is you have to have a lot of passion for doing it. Also, I want to be the captain of my own ship. I am so tired of working for other people. I'm so sick of it because every time I work for someone and I'm trying to help them like do something with their business or like I've got ideas, they're not interested and they don't care. But then they are at the same time. Like, does that make sense? Like they'll be like, hey, grow my business. And you'll be like, okay, here's how. And then they'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. And you run into that over and over again. So now I'm at a point where I'm just like, okay, whatever you want. I don't even argue it. I don't really care. I don't care what happens to the business as long as I'm getting paid. I just offer my expertise. If they want to use them, that's on them. If they don't, that's on them. That's that. I work hard for them, give them my best, but I'm done giving my my personal love and care and attention to a project that is not mine. That is for them to do because it is their business. I don't expect Angelo to be like drinking the Dandy Andy Kool-Aid and be like, oh my God, your channel, I hope it grows. And like, I know he's here to just get paid and that's fine. Angelo's a cool guy, and I like it when he puts himself in the videos and stuff. But I don't expect him to be like, hey, will you do this video for free because it's going on the Dandy Andy channel. I feel like people who run businesses kind of lose their mind a little bit and start thinking that they're God or something. I don't know. This is a huge tangent. But you guys kind of like that about the podcast, right? So yeah, let me just say this, not even YouTube. If you're going to start your own business, be prepared to get your ass beat. You know how many businesses I've started before doing YouTube? Businesses that on paper should have been a lot easier and they've completely crashed and burned. A lot. Be prepared to fail. It's good to fail. It's so good to fail. Do things that you're scared to do and fail at it. I tried to run a food drive and do like a music festival food drive thing. And then the day that all the bands were supposed to show up and all the equipment, we were even supposed to have police at the event. They didn't even show up, to run security because it was too cold. It was like -1 degrees or something. And this is at Veterans Park in Texas and in the DFW area. We were going to play in the Shell there. No one showed up. None of the bands, nothing. It was like there was all this hype and all these people saying they're going to be there, and it just didn't happen. I feel bad for people who might have shown up. So be prepared to fail. It's okay to fail. Okay, let's get back to questions. Neon Cyber Samurai. Thank you for answering my question, Dandy Andy. I made sure to like and hype the video. Keep up the good work, boss. Oh, well, thank you. That's not a question, but I guess Control F found the question thing. Side note, your yapping helps me through the workday. I'm very grateful for creators like you. Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and heart this, and we're going to count as a question. Hey, it's Killer Cameron again. What is up, dog? How are you enjoying GTA 5? It was great when I was playing it. I can't wait to get back to it. I have so much footage of it captured that I'm trying to get through for these videos. It's good. I mean, I didn't stick with me. I ended up reading a book instead. So I'll get back to it. I have to now. That's why I started a video series with it, is so that I would have to finish it. But then the idea was to go mission by mission and review it. And people are like, no, that idea sucks. Do multiple mission clusters at a time and then release it. Well, that turned into being some super over-the-top tedious process, because now I'm like, oh, it's got to be super cinematic. And I made its own custom intro. And oh my God, I went overboard with it. So I might dial it back after this next episode, because this next episode I think is going to be like an 1.5-hour movie leading up to the heist. But my God, the editing. So I wish I could have Angelo do those, and just have those cooking in the background. All right. Now we got JJ Dog J11. Who the Duck asks if he's going to play GTA 6 on launch. What kind of question is that? This is true, because I will be playing it on launch. And this is primarily a Grand Theft Auto 6 channel, apparently. So yeah, I'll be playing on launch. Okay, Jamie Lapointe, 4821. Question, hey Andy, as a potential show they could reference in Grand Theft Auto 6, Dexter would be pretty cool, I think. I have not seen Dexter. My sister tells me to watch it. She really likes it. Then you said it would be pretty cool. I think it would be really cool if they had clothes for Jason that could look slightly like Dexter's kill clothes, if they had that. Does Dexter take place in Florida? I don't know. I've never watched Dexter. I have no idea. I know it's like a serial killer guy that helps law enforcement, right? That's all I know about it. So I don't know. That's out there. I'm going to have to look into Dexter, because I don't know why they would put Dexter stuff in it. Now, Dexter's Laboratory, I watched a lot of. All right, Killer Camera 94 again. What's up, homie? To the question about making the areas feel more alive outside of Los Santos, you have to have more businesses that exist outside the city that people actually want to use and that are not available in the city. It's not limited to businesses. It could be activities or such. Ooh. So this isn't a question, but he said question in there. Totally agree with that. So like in Grand Theft Auto 5, one of my major criticisms with it is you have this huge map and then it's like, you're in Los Santos. That's it. You start off as Trevor and then you go to Los Santos. And then when it does send you around, you are ping-ponged all around. The map needs to open up in a way that feels believable or not even believable, but like immersive and like you're going on an adventure. How San Andreas did it. It was so good. How Vice City did it. How Grand Theft Auto 4 did it. Open these places up one by bit, bit by bit. Red Dead Redemption 2, you could go anywhere at first, but it didn't feel that way. Excellent game craftsmanship, how they did that. Excellent game design. So yes, I think for businesses that are outside of the city, they should feel like businesses that you'd put outside the city. I agree. Make it believable. Give you a reason to go there that would be believable to why you would go somewhere in real life. That's when people have fun, because it feels realistic, feels believable. That kind of stuff. Okay. Now we got Max Guy again. What's up? Question. I had a thought. What if you could run into major characters like Raoul O'Brien or Cal Hampton going about their daily lives in the wild? Like seeing Raoul running from the cops, robbing a store, being able to help him get away or whatever. Or what about even prison guard Jason, like the prison guard Jason talks to? Imagine seeing him driving home from work. There will be stuff like that, but it will be scripted. There was stuff like that in Red Dead Redemption 2. So yeah, I would expect to see that. It won't be random. It'll be scripted. But yes, that will happen. Sometimes you would catch your camp characters doing something in town. And I absolutely love that about Red Dead Redemption 2. So yeah, 100% I could see that happening. But I wouldn't say it's going to be like some huge consequences or anything like that. You know what I mean? It'll just be like, oh, hey, there's Raul, you know, that kind of thing. Double drop in, I'm dumb. How do I say your name? Double drop tin hunter? Anyways, question. I'm guessing there will be hardware limitations when Grand Theft Auto 6 first comes out with the current generation of consoles, since they are nearing the end of their generations. But I'm curious what you think Rockstar could add with a next-gen update once both consoles have moved into their next-gen, like basically, okay, the PS6 and stuff. Hint with saying my screen name, Double Drop Tine Hunter. I know you struggle every time. Thank you. Whoa, there it is. You actually put in how to say it, and then I just struggled with it again. Thanks, homie. So Double Drop Double Drop Tine Hunter. Double Drop Tine Hunter. I appreciate that, man. And now I said your name correctly. Finally, 2 months later after you put this. So I don't know. You know, I think the shadows be sharper, draw distance be better, stuff like that. Game's gonna look freaking awesome. So yeah, I hope they don't restrict the third person mode until then, because or the first person mode, because that would be super stupid. I don't think they're gonna do that. But you know, with more hardware, more of the same basically, just on a larger scale. So like more traffic density, more NPCs, more lights, better lighting in general, stuff like that. I don't really know how I could get much better looking at this point. We're at the point of diminishing returns. Do y'all remember the jump from the PlayStation 1 to the PS2? Like how Metal Gear Solid 2 looked the first time you played it compared to Metal Gear Solid 1? Think about it. It's insane. Or the Spider-Man movie game looks so good. Agent Under Fire. Yeah, we're at a point now where it really just can't get that much more realistic looking. I think we need to stop focusing so much on graphics, because like we're there, and start focusing more on like the CPU aspect of it, like the things that are happening in the world, the things that make the world feel alive. That's what's gonna lead to better games. We've gotten there with graphics. You know what I'm saying? But inevitably they're going to continue to get better. Good question. Thank you, Double Drop Tine Hunter. Said your name right, finally. Noah Mitchell, H9I. Question, do you think there will be more controls and buttons for driving and shooting? Yes, I have a video about this. Contextual something. Yeah, you're going to be able to issue orders well, that's more like Jason and Lucia, but there's going to be more stuff where you can like zip tie people and all that kind of stuff. For shooting, I hope so. I hope there's different fire modes, stuff like that. That may have been something I've covered, but I don't remember. Driving, I love Grand Theft Auto 4's driving, so just give me back those controls and we're good. You know, the R1 handbrake, here we go. Riding the handbrake for everything. I don't know though. They could add some more stuff. GTA Online, I feel like, has kind of added like ways of being able to trigger different things. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, Mr. Towel Rack. Question. Thank you for answering my questions. You're welcome. I'm sorry it's taking 2 months to answer these. Regarding my last question, I was asking you to play a game of Fuck, Marry, Kill with the franchises of Red Dead, Metal Gear, and Fallout. In other words, how would you personally rank those franchises? Oh, that's spicy. Damn, why are you doing this? This is so difficult. If I had, but like passion kill, right? Like I still love it. It's just like, it did something so evil. Like, how dare you, Anakin? That kind of kill. Okay, I got you. I'm probably going to have to fuck Fallout, marry Metal Gear, passion kill Red Dead. But Fallout, it's pretty randy. Yeah. I've never seen that. That's an interesting way of ranking stuff. That sounds like something you'd ask at like a bar or something to get things spicy. You know, among friends, among mutual people your age who are also single and who you are hoping to, you know, have that conversation lead to somewhere else in the night. You know, kind of how people play, what is it? That question game. Truth, what is it? And then spin the bottle. I've played that. You know, you do the beer pong and all that. And then the truth or whatever. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, that kind of stuff. That sounds like a bar game. That's interesting though. I like that. That's good. If you're ever in a bar and you're out having a cigarette, you know, and drinking or whatever out back, you got to bring up a franchise and be like, all right, fuck, marry, or kill. What are you going to do with this franchise? You got these three. How would you rank them? That's the kind of stuff people like to talk about in bars. That, or, how their ex is a bitch and left them and they can't ever see their kid again. Stuff like that. Anyways, Joe Mauma. Did I say that right? I butcher y'all's names. I'm so sorry. Question. Do you think the emphasis on UGC, we still get a year delay for PC? Hold on. Do you think that the emphasis on user-generated content, we still get a year delay for PC? That's how it's written. Let me see. I think we may get a PC release sooner, so to help drive content creators to build out the UGC platform, unless they have some form of content creation tools on console planned. I don't know about getting that PC release sooner, because they're going to want to milk all the sales possible before that. But I think it also depends on, just where they're at with that PC release. You know what I mean? If with the emphasis on UGC that they're doing, I'd be very shocked if they didn't have console creation, like tools on the console to do it. Because, discs are going away for consoles, and they've already kind of been going this route ever since the Xbox 360, slowly just turning into little mini gaming PCs that are just owned by companies. Basically, consoles are just becoming middlemen to playing on the computer instead of being a true console. So, yeah, I would expect stuff like that. Honestly, at this point, there's not even going to be really a reason to own a console once Sony does away with discs. Because you could play with a controller on the couch with your PC linked up to it. In fact, kind of how I have it linked up is I got my computers running into the monitor, and then I ran a wire through the wall going into another room, an HDMI, into a TV. So I can sit out there and watch the kids and play on the computer, if I want to. And then I also have the ROG Ally X, which allows you to stream from Steam. And if you do it in your house, it's great, especially with fast internet. And then you can also stream from the PlayStation Store. Like the games you can stream on PlayStation Plus, you can stream to any computer. So you can stream it to your handheld. And this is a good way of just kind of playing games all over your house. If you guys need to know that this is how I managed to actually play games and capture footage while having kids and like 2 other jobs, is being able to move around the house and do it wherever I want to in the house. That's why my Grand Theft Auto 5 series is all captioned on the ROG Ally X. It's the only realistic way I could play it. I can't really plant myself anywhere and play it. I have to kind of be on the move with it. So, yeah. Anyways, I would expect UGC content creator tools for console. I would expect it. I'm not saying it's confirmed. I'd be surprised if they didn't. Killer Kramer 94, what's up, dude? I love seeing you come up again and again. He's a member, by the way, so appreciate you. You've been a member for 3 months. You're a real homie. And this is a question from 2 months ago, so man, I've been leaving you hanging. Thank you, Andy, for getting me through the end of my shift. Love the video. Oh, this is just thank you. Thanks for taking the time to answer everyone's questions twice sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do answer your questions twice. Well, you asked so many, and I like it. Keep asking them. Hope you're doing all right. I'm going to mark that as a question. Screw it. Ant YRAC 7905. Thanks for answering my question. I'm also sitting on 50-50 when it comes to the relationships meter and online, but I still kind of think if they going to have one in single player, then maybe they will use it for online. For example, if you want to move some undocumented pharmaceuticals, you got to increase your friendship level with your distributor or something so they can trust you more. That would be kind of interesting. I could also see a lot of people hating that. It's just, I think it'd be a waste of technology if it was only for single player, or at least it'd be cool if they let people play with the mechanic and the mission editor. Anyways, love your content and what you think. Awesome video as always. Really appreciate that. I think the relationship meter that is supposedly going to be in the game would be more of kind of like just a background thing between choices between Jason and Lucia. If it's some sort of fleshed out system, well, that is a full fleshed out system just without UI, right? I mean, it's like Grand Theft Auto 4 where you get the little thumbs up, thumbs down when you piss off your, your friends. So that'd be kind of interesting if they added some relationship mechanics to online, because I feel like Grand Theft Auto Online really just becomes an infinite grind for money, and it is such a stressful grind. And sometimes it's just not fun, but you're addicted. So anything to make that game feel like less of a grind and more like you're actually living in that world would be cool. The whole like building a business aspect of Grand Theft Auto Online, top notch. Love it. It feels really good. I just feel like progression's really slow, which it needs to be because it's an online MMO kind of thing. But I feel like there's other ways of adding more features to make it more interesting, like how they added the casino. It was really cool. I used to go do the horse races and stuff. It was really fun. So yeah. Anyways, Tactical Bingus. Yo, I'm loving the content. The chill yapping is nice to have in the background while getting baked and playing modded Grand Theft Auto, etc. Since I also yap like a motherfucker, and it's nice to hear someone with similar thought processes. But I got a question. I'm not sure anyone has asked yet. Question: do you think Rockstar might include some maintenance immersive features to personal vehicles, kind of like in Red Dead Redemption 2, when you could clean feed your horse? I don't mean like oil changes and tires, but maybe like fuel consumption or mileage slowly racking up on the dash as you progress throughout the game. Personally, I think it would be a really cool use of the improved displays and give us, I'm still reading the comment, and give us a reason to pay more attention to our cars, unlike in previous GTA games. Would be pretty immersive to make sure cars are topped up before heists or tracking mileage on our favorite cars and online without being too much for non-car people. Hope life is treating you well. Don't burn yourself out, and I'll be sure to support you anytime I see your vids pop up. Man, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Tactical Bingus. And this is the kind of stuff where I'm like, man, it's been 2 months since you left that, and I'm just now reading it. I feel bad. But here we are, and hopefully you're still listening, and hopefully you're listening to this episode, and we're talking about Mr. Tactical Bingus over here, getting baked and playing modded GTA. And hopefully you're doing that right now while listening. Yeah, I agree with you. I would love to see it. Will we? I don't know. They did have it with the horses and stuff. I would think we would see something, something. Like I've talked about this a lot, how you can add a fuel system to Grand Theft Auto without it feeling too tedious. You could do it. Starfield, if you mod it and just turn on what was originally supposed to be in vanilla, it has that and it doesn't feel tedious. Like you can fly around the system as much as you want. But when you grav jump, that's when the fuel is actually like eaten away at. And the thinking behind that is this. Think about how much fuel it would take to get from like star system to star system. But when you're in the star system and you're flying around, why would it eat up a lot of fuel? It's like it would be like driving 1 foot compared to driving to a city. You know what I mean? So obviously you're not going to see fuel consumption when flying around a system the way you would jumping from star system to star system. Does that make sense? So that was a way that they kind of got around the tedium of it and also made it feel like you're an adventurer and you could be stranded in space and have to call for support, stuff like that, which again needed to be added with mods. Bethesda, get it together. So yeah, I would love to see something like that. Didn't Mafia have a fuel system and it wasn't too tedious? Or am I tripping? They might have had like a realistic car mode versus a more arcadey driving thing. I would love to see something like that in Grand Theft Auto as well. Give us an option between the driving modes or something. But yeah, I think we will see something like that. What it is, though, I have no idea. But I do hope we see it. Thanks, Tactical Bingus, for making the world a better place. Bot McClanker. That is an awesome name. So is Tactical Bingus. You guys are killing me with these names. What would you like to see in Trailer 3? You asked this 2 months ago, and it's nuts that we still don't have it. So I think that's funny. I'd like to see a travel guide style showcase of each locale plus mini game showcase, maybe show update golf mechanics, highlight a few unconfirmed options. Thoughts on possibly a neighborhood watch style secondary wanted reputation system. Oh, yeah, like with NPCs. I could see that, like in a gated community and stuff like that. They have stuff like that in Red Dead. Like if you go up to like bandit hideouts. So that isn't already, except, your neighborhood HOA isn't going to shoot you. Well, unless you're in Texas. I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm not. But yeah, I would love to see something like that. Hell, you could do that in Florida. It'd be really funny. What are you doing around here? Hey, boy, I noticed you've been walking around here looking at my car. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. That kind of thing. It'd be pretty interesting. Or if he plays Lucia and you go to the same location, hey, girl, start getting catcalled and guys start following her, and then she could whoop their ass. There's a whole new perspective here that you could have playing as a woman because, guys be unassuming, the bad guys, and start trying to do stuff to her, and then she could whoop their ass. So that would be some pretty interesting stuff to see. I'd love to see something like that. Like you go down an alley and these guys are trying to get handsy with her and she could just beat their ass or like shoot them or something. Personally, for Trailer 3, I don't think we're going to see any of that stuff. I think that comes later. For Trailer 3, I think we're going to get like another short cinematic trailer. And then right after that, you're going to get what you're talking about with like the voiceover. And Grand Theft Auto 6, you'll be able to take off your pants and jump around and Just stupid crap like that. You'll be able to somersault into swimming pools, stuff like that. So we'll see. Can you imagine if they had a somersault mechanic and just start doing somersaults into traffic? It'd be great. Great question. Thanks for asking. Sorry it took so long to get back to you. Don't decant. Hey man, thank you for entertaining my question. This meant a lot. Oh, you're welcome, homie. The moment that you liked my comment, I had a hunch that you might have addressed my question. I'm a big fan of your work, and I've been following you for a long time. I'm a very passive viewer. Keep up the good work. I'm rooting for your GTA 6 release, or for you past the GTA 6 release. You have me for life. My beat wishes, I know you meant best, but I prefer to say beat there. My beat wishes for your case, and I'm always looking forward to your videos. Keep it real, Holmes. Much love and peace. I'm a fan. Dude, you're awesome. Love you. Thank you. Don't decant. I hope you're still here. And when you get this heart, I hope you know that it's going in a video. Max Guy, what's up, homie? Again, see, I get a couple of regulars asking questions and I love it. Hope all is well, dude. And you got and you get back to normality soon. Oh, this must have been when the trial was going on. I always love your videos and appreciate you answering my questions. Also look forward to seeing you live stream in the future too. Me too. I don't know how possible that is with the kiddos. We'll see. We'll get there. If I do this full time, it'll probably start to be a thing. Kobe motherfucking Collins. What's up, homie? Question, Dandy Andy. No, Danny Andy. That's funny. Yeah, that could have been my name, actually. My dad's name's Danny, and his dad's name is Danny. Anyways, I really want a PC, but I'm on a low budget. Times are hard right now. Is there any device that you could give to help me get one eventually? Like, I don't even know what I would go. You want a PC, but you're on a low budget. Bro, at this point, I'd probably go with a ROG Ally X from 2024 if you can find one. Look for a handheld gaming PC. I would say that. You're not going to be able to play AAA releases. You can stream them though. You could also hook it up and then just play it like a normal computer if you get the dock for it. Dude, RAM prices have shot up so much right now. I feel bad for anyone trying to buy a PC. I'm so fortunate that I built a new PC right before that happened. Like literally right before that happened, I got 128 gigabytes of RAM. I got like an Intel 1490 something, 14900K, something like that. And then the, what was it? RTX 4080, 4090, one of those. So that's what I'm rocking. Just start saving, bro. Sorry, there's not much else you can do. Unless the handheld gaming PC route, though, might be for you if you are okay not playing every game on ultra settings. Super convenient. I absolutely love it. And then games that are super demanding, you could stream through various streaming services, stuff like that. Damn. Yeah, I wish I could help you more. I've been out of it for a while. You know, when I'm building a PC, I could answer these questions very well because I'm fresh on all the info because I'm doing it myself, but it's been about a year now, so I'm sorry. Best of luck to you. In fact, that's why I'm able to put out these videos. If you watch my first few videos, that was done on my old computer, and the render time was like 7-8 hours to get like one of those files out. Now it's like an hour. So much better. So I'm able to do more videos. All right, Kobe motherfucking Collins. Let's move on to Adam Cameron 4832. Question, just got done watching this video. He just got done watching the 131 GTA 6 questions video. Loving the longer ones, definitely helps work go by faster. How long was that video? Was it like 3 hours? Is this going to be a 3-hour video? This might, hopefully not. The wife's lady's going to kill me. Loving the longer ones definitely helps work go by faster. I heard you speak about Ghost Recon and wanted to hear your thoughts as you love Wildlands and Breakpoint minus some of the robotics as it felt like it went a wee bit too futuristic. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think they're going to do next and what they should do with the franchise. And I heard they might go back to their roots of mission-based, but I'd be quite disappointed as I love the open world better. Also, shout out to all of your Scottish fans. Keep up the good work. Favorite YouTuber to listen to. A lot of love. Man, I feel so bad that it's been 2 months since you left that and I'm just now getting here. Well, thank you. Much love to you, homie. And I didn't play much Breakpoint or Wildlands. Metal Gear Solid 5 has my heart. I would go that direction. If they're going to do open world and go mission by mission, yeah, do it. But take away some of the more loony aspects of it that I've seen online. Keep it grounded. Make those shooting mechanics as realistic as possible. Look at Ready or Not and what they're doing. And yeah, then take that more tactical, realistic approach. I feel like the open world isn't the issue. It's the gameplay, you know? And it's not so, I don't want to say it's an issue because people like it, but I think going more grounded and realistic and tactical would make it better. Similar to how they don't have to go full Arma with it, but go more that direction. Does that make sense? So I don't have much to offer other than that. But hey, if you're in Scotland, even if you're not in Scotland, much love to you. And I hope you're doing all right in Scotland. Willow loves it there. And she tells me that I must go before I die. So maybe I'll come visit you in Scotland. And maybe I don't drink very much anymore, given my past. But, if I'm ever in Scotland, maybe I'll put a shout out or something like that. Maybe we can grab a beer or something like that. It'd be cool if you drink. All right. Next question. Inspired 593 question. How are you doing? Dude, I'm stressed out. So stressed. Not going to lie. Man, the dread right now when I'm not doing this. Y'all are my outlet. And I love my children. I have a great life. I just have no time to enjoy it. Whose fault is that? Arguably mine. But the reason I'm doing so much, like working and doing this, like if it was up to me, if I had infinite money, I would slow down on my releases with this. Yeah, I would slow down my releases, but I'd still do this because I love this. But I would slow down a bit. I would go outside a lot more. I need to get back into my workout routine. I've been clearing boxes out of the garage that have been there since we moved to San Antonio. And I need to get back into working out. I was lifting like nonstop and I was getting stronger. Muscles were getting bigger. And I was running. I started running with a weighted vest. Because screw it. Yeah, I'll tell you. I was considering doing a career change into becoming a firefighter and jumping into that line of work. But you don't just jump into that line of work. It's earned. It's very hard. It's very difficult. You have to test for it. But I was just so ready to get out of the chair and I wanted to do something where I'd help people because one day, and I know this is completely off topic, but I was driving home from Tarrant County Community College and there was a house on fire. And I pulled over and I went to go and help. And right as I get there, the fire department pulls up. And I just remember thinking like, wow, and then they're like, we got it, like get the fuck back, that kind of thing. Also, my uncle is a firefighter and I think he just retired. He's a volunteer firefighter. I don't speak with that side of my family because of some things that have happened. Just not very compatible. They're very abrasive, very confrontational people. But they get into it with the lady all the time and I'm just not trying to have that. Life's too short for that. And just constant hostility from that side of the family. So no, thank you. But I do have a lot of respect for, some of the stuff they've done. Like my uncle, he's a volunteer firefighter in Tulia, Texas. He became chief. And then he, I think he just retired. And he is an amazing man, hard worker, absolutely incredible. Saves a lot, he saved a lot of lives. And I think his pops did it too. And I love men like that. I love men who put their lives in danger to help others. But I have a problem. And it's the same thing that kept me from joining the Army, which is something I also tried to do. I've been into a recruiter's office completely drunk one time and they're like, no, you can't join. You're too fat. And they're basically like, you need to get your weight off and get some speeding tickets taken care of. Got the weight off. Years go by. I'm with the lady now. And then I'm like, okay, what about Army National Guard? Maybe I'll do that. And so I go to meet with the recruiter. I'm surrounded by a bunch of people in camo and I'm nervous. And they're like, oh, you got to take this test. And this is the third time I've taken it now. So I don't know like how many times you're allowed to take the thing, but I've taken it. I took it once in high school for the Navy. I took it a second time for the Army. And then I took it a third time for the Army National Guard. And I scored terribly on it the third time. And he was just like, I'd been working out a bit too, and I'd been losing weight. And so he was just like, you gym rat, bro? I was like, yeah. And he's like, how's, was it 11 Bravo sound? I didn't know what that was. And I was just like, yeah, it sounds great, man. That kind of thing. He's like, yeah, I think 11B or 11C's for you, man. And So, and let me look up what that is. I think one of them's infantry. Yeah, 11B is infantry. So he's like, how's the infantry sound? And then 11C, what is that, a mortar crew? Yeah. So yeah, he was like, you could go mortar crew, you could do, the other thing. Or you could be tank crew, which I heard is like, if you get the lowest score, you do tank crew stuff. And I was down. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was defeating alcoholism in my life at the time, and I was looking for a way to get out of it. And I thought, the military, obviously, everyone I look up to in my life has done some sort of service act, like my great grandpa fought in World War II, and he lived long enough to where I got to ask him about it. What was it like invading France and liberating France? He didn't have much to say that he would tell me, but he told my dad a lot. And so I got a lot of his stories from him, and just like crazy stuff. Like one time they hung piano wire, the Nazis hung piano wire in a town. And when the gunner was going through, like on his Jeep, the guy who was on the machine gun had his head taken off, and like dude's head just came off and blood just starts falling on my great grandpa, stuff like that. He had a buddy who got hit by a tank, exploded, stuff like that, just crazy stuff. And it's not that I want to see or do any of that necessarily, but that's what you would be doing as infantry. But there's a few political reasons why that ultimately ended up not being the best move, but that's not ultimately what talked me out of it. The reason I didn't do any of that stuff, and I've been I don't really like to talk about this, but I'll just tell y'all, I have panic disorder. I didn't know what it was when it first hit me. So when I was working full time and also going to college at UTA in Arlington, and I was driving back and forth a lot. So it'd be like you work 9 to 5, you get off, and you get stuck in 5 o'clock traffic, and I had to make it to school by 7 p.m. And I'd go to school from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'd get stuck in traffic. And if I was late, they had an attendance thing. And if I messed up my attendance, it messed up my student loans, and then I couldn't go. And I'd be in a bunch of debt. So it was a very stressful, very hectic time in my life. I was trying to start over and turn a new leaf because I hit rock bottom. I lost everything. And my woman really helped me through that a lot, like big. But that ended up being what kind of disqualified me from doing all of those things. Is, I was driving home one day, and all of a sudden I just couldn't breathe. My arms, they shrunk up into my chest. Like your hands, imagine your hand forming a claw, and your hands like shrinking up into your chest. And I lost control of my mouth. I couldn't speak. I lost control of my legs, and it's from over hyperventilating, I learned. So anyways, I pulled over because I was about to crash my car, and I ended up crawling, I wasn't even able to crawl. I could barely open the door. And I landed on the shoulder of the road, and I managed to roll over into the median. But it was a hill that took me into a ditch, and I had lost all my motor controls. So I literally just rolled into a ditch, and I was worried no one was going to be able to find me. Luckily, I didn't know what this was when this happened, by the way. I didn't even know it could happen like this. And I thought I was having a heart attack or a stroke. I wasn't really sure what was happening. And this woman, thankfully, she was leaving, she's like a real estate lady or something. She was leaving some property. This is on 35 West, if you know what I'm talking about, south of Fort Worth. And I was heading north from Alvarado. And she found me. She calls the fire department and all that. Well, she calls 911, and the fire department gets there, and they help me. And I had after that, I was terrified of driving long distances, but I had to do it. And I had it happen a couple more times. Even knowing what it was, when it starts to hit, you're convinced that it's something else. And I was so sure it was from all the heavy drug use and all the heavy alcohol that I did to my body that I just completely ruined it, and all the smoking. And that, finally, things were coming home to roost. You know what I mean? So I've ended up in multiple ditches several times. Ended up at a gas station, laying in the street next to a cop, and the dude just walked past me to go in and get a Slurpee or whatever. But I was hoping he would help. Lost control of speaking. One time I was over the hood of my car, and it was thunderstorming, and the windshield wipers were just banging my head, and I couldn't move. It was absolutely terrifying. And just stuff like that, man. And, I've had stuff in my life happen that's been pretty traumatic, that, being around very, at times, violent people, putting myself in bad situations with them. That might have played a part into it because I'm naturally a cautious person. So like by the time I'm not doing that stuff anymore and I'm not drinking to like mask the anxiety of what I'm doing, it's all hidden. Also just alcohol withdrawal, because I was a heavy drinker. So they put me on what's called clonazepam. And if you know, that is a controlled substance. So now I take clonazepam almost every single day. Every single day, I take it. And you cannot join the military with panic disorder and clonazepam. You can't. So it wasn't for me. Didn't work out. And if I had one of those panic attacks in a real situation, especially if they're trying to put me in infantry or something like that, I could have gotten other people killed. So I'm glad things worked out the way they did. It sucks. I feel ashamed that I have them. Hell, I had one just the other night for the first time in years. I fell on the stairs and lady wasted no time. She thought it was, I thought it was a heart attack. I couldn't even speak again. Same old symptoms. And as soon as the paramedics and all that got here, who now they're extension of the fire department, they knew what it was. I'm in my kitchen chair and I'm like, oh, it's just, my tongue's rolled up. I'm like, it's just a panic attack. Like, I know what this is. I'm so sorry for wasting your time, that kind of thing. And this is on July 4th. So there's fireworks going on and all that stuff. And, it was just very stimulating. My dogs, they're inside, they're barking. The kids are crying, and it just hit me, and I fell down the stairs and just kind of did that. And the only way I could get the lady over to me is by sticking my foot out so that she could see me on the other side because I couldn't call for help. So I've doubled my meds. But I think since this is a thing that I have, I've never had it in a life or death situation, and I have been in a few of those. But since I have those, it's probably not in the best interest of the general public for me to serve in that capacity. It is what it is. It's a chip on my shoulder, but it is what it is. I don't want to put other people's lives at risk, doing that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it sucks. But I get to do this with you guys, and that's cool. Which, to my credit, anytime I've been in a fight, anytime I've been in a life or death situation, I haven't lost control. I've reacted very calm. It's always when things aren't dangerous that it happens. But if it did happen in one of those situations, which I'm always terrified about, like what happens if my family's in danger and I can't protect them? I'm so worried about being able to protect my family, always. So I need to take care of myself, get my body stronger. Anyways, that very simple question, how are you doing, turned into, how long have we been going? Like 10, 15 minutes? I'm doing good though. I'm alive. And thanks for asking. Next question, also from Inspired. Here we go. We need a name for the community. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Drop your suggestions for the name of this community below. I like how you marked that as a question, so I'm going to mark it as a question. Now we have Not Carter 1. Question, do you think we will have pets like dogs and cats that can follow us, that we can buy, give commands? I don't know. I hope so. There's going to be a lot of wildlife. They could do it if they wanted to. It'd be cool if like Lucia brought home a cat and she's like, this is my cat. And you have it in the house and Jason is maybe a dog person. The thing is, there's no like leaks or anything to where I could be like, there's going to be pets in the game, So I can't tell you yes or no. But I could tell you that that's a great idea and that I hope to see it in the game. Thanks for asking. Hayne Aaron, 32946. Question, I kind of got two actually, but do you think our online character will be mute again? Or how would you feel if they did get voices for online? I'll answer that first. They should do what Saints Row 2 did. Give us like a couple of voice options. Our character doesn't have to talk a lot. They don't have to have a big personality, just a little bit, and give us pitch options. And if we want to mute, let us choose a mute option. Y'all have the money for it. Y'all have the resources. Come on, Rockstar. All right, second question. And do you hope they keep the car control in the air? No, I hope they get rid of that. I think I want more real and to have consequences of wrecking and to have less control. Yes, I do too. I want that to go away. I think it's silly. I miss the days of like when you flipped your car, you flipped your freaking car. Now you got to get out and abandon it because police are chasing you. It adds to the realism. It adds to the immersion of the world. It makes things feel more tense. So yeah, 100% in agreement with you. All right, next question. John Garwitz, 5203. Question, would you be down to check out some of the gameplay features of Crimson Desert and see what Rockstar could potentially incorporate? No, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to play Crimson Desert. My buddy Chad has been playing it and he's like, bro, play Crimson Desert, play Crimson Desert. He's like 300 hours on it. Looks awesome. Looks like everything I could possibly want. I just don't have time. I wish I did. Even if I did this full time, I don't know if I'd have full time. Or I don't know even if I did this full time, I do not know if I would have time to do that. Also, do you think when a trailer is released, Rockstar pays attention to what fans discuss the most and makes sure to focus on that in future trailers? No, I don't think Rockstar operates that way. Or is it maybe already planned out? Yes. I don't think it's based off of what fans discuss. I think they just do what they're going to do. So, yeah. And you work and you get sweaty while you're listening. That's awesome. I need to get sweaty more often. I miss it. I miss working my ass off. That's the thing about desk jobs. Once you start doing it, you start missing your physical jobs. And when you're doing a physical job, you want a desk job. But damn, I miss it. I miss coming home, being completely exhausted body-wise and just sinking into the couch and playing a game. Nothing like that feeling. There's not a feeling in this world that feels the way like getting done with a brutal workout. Like I used to work out for an hour and a half every day on the elliptical, sometimes running. There's nothing like that feeling, weighted vest, hiking, that kind of stuff. My whole life, I've gone back and forth between like my target weight and then fat, and back and forth, more muscle mass, less muscle mass, just kind of all over the place. And then even anorexic at one point, but that was when I was like real young. But, so my body weight's been all over the place, but man, there's nothing like the feeling of working your ass off. And then that feeling of when you sit down right after, oh my God, ecstasy. We're put on this planet to work hard. And I feel like a lot of people are really upset, in life and stuff because we've moved towards like desk jobs, especially a lot of young men. I feel like if we had a lot more jobs where men are working their ass, I don't know. That's a dumb opinion. I don't know. I just know that hard work feels good and that, you feel good when you're done doing it. And I encourage people who aren't doing it but have time to go do it. I don't have time, unfortunately. The gym bros always tell you there's always time to work out. I'm like, not in my life, but I'm going to make time for it. So just haven't gotten there yet. Anyways, awesome. Thanks for the question. Best game player 10. Okay, there he is. That is the best game player of all time, guys. I love your profile picture of Sad Arthur, by the way. You should split the video up if you're going to get tired and complain halfway through and not give us thorough responses to all questions. Quality over quantity. No offense, just constructive criticism. Thank you, but I disagree with your constructive criticism because I do not have the time to do what you're saying. Thank you, though. Your thoughts have been noted, good sir. Spicy Alligator. That's an awesome name. Question, do you think NPCs will follow different religions? No. Unless we have what is it? Epsilon program. I'm sure we'll see something like that. Will we all see people on the streets preaching more often? I remember in GTA 5, there was someone who seemed religious, but he also seemed kind of out of it. Love your vids. I also listen to them while I stock shelves. That's awesome, man. I think it'd be interesting if how in Florida, or maybe this is up in the Finger Lakes, they do the boat sermons. They pull up the boats and they have the sermons like that. Maybe we see something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Right. What if we see them in Florida with their boats? They're doing that and they got all their Trump flags and stuff. I wonder what they're going to do for that, because that is a huge representation of Florida right now. The boats with the flags and stuff. Wonder if they're going to, we did see a screenshot of something similar. All right, Ghost GSXR 750. Question, what, in your opinion, is the likelihood of skateboards? I don't think it's super likely, but I would love to see them. I think it would be pretty awesome. Why not? They should add them in online if it's not in single player, because that's something that's realistic and grounded. People could have fun with, actually go to the skate parks and do, that isn't a flying death bike, like the Oppressor. So I would love to see skateboards. Probably not in single player, probably if we see them in online. Next question from Epileptic Gamer. What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in a bit. Probably because I've been bad about reading comments. This is going to be the most detailed game ever made. We'll be finding insane, random, unnecessary, yet awesome details many years after release. I'm just wondering, how far are they going to go with it? Are they going to make the weight of NPCs feel more heavy like actual humans? How advanced is the ragdoll physics? Are the NPCs going to die when shooting them several times in the limbs? Are they actually making it to where you got to shoot them in the torso or head to kill them immediately? All these questions. I think RDR2 with mods is a really good place to look for that, because they have that. They have sensitive areas and stuff. I think that's highlighted when you have Deadeye turned on anyway without mods. some guns, you could shoot someone in the arm and they're down. It just depends. It also depends on the person and how they react to getting shot. So I think adding that variety to it would be pretty interesting. Some people get shot and they don't immediately register they've been shot and they keep operating until, they realize they've been shot. Unless it's like, I've seen enough shooting videos and stuff to know some people they freak out, but they don't know they've been shot until they walk a few streets down and they're like, oh my God, I've been shot. And then they collapse and die, so who knows? The weight of the NPCs feel more heavy. I think they did a good enough job in Red Dead Redemption 2. We're going to be able to move them around, and the ragdoll physics should be the best they've ever been in Grand Theft Auto 6. All right. Good question. Glad to see you again, Epileptic Gamer 7. Now we have Jimmy Mage 5610, and I'm just going to read it even though it's not a question, but I'm going to mark it as a question. Now I'm questioning whether or not GTA 6 will be a good game or not. This is after I did the Where's Trailer 3 thing. That is not a controversial thing now. It's kind of interesting to go through these comments from 3 months ago to now. Now we're in the 1 month range, and see people, how their thoughts have kind of changed on the game just based on the stuff that's going on with the whole no disc and Sony's decision, all that kind of stuff. All right, a Virginia Possum. You guys and your names, how do you come up with these? Me losing an arm wouldn't have that much effect on me playing Grand Theft Auto 6. Sure, sniping would be out of the question, but I'd still be what? But I'd still be about to shoot and drive cars and fly aircraft one-handed. Only thing one arm would do really is stop me from smoking or drinking with one hand and playing with the other. I learned to open and close water bottles with one hand, holding the bottle cap around my trigger finger the whole time. Some may say impossible, but you haven't seen it. Is this in response? Is this in response to something I said? I'm so confused. I know someone, a veteran who has to play one-handed, and they have controllers for it. He likes to play War Thunder, so that's pretty cool. Which they actually reached out about doing an ad spot, but they're kind of lowballing. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'd much if I'm gonna put an ad in a video, it's got to be worth it, because otherwise I'm wasting y'all's time. Well, good luck to you playing one-handed. They make controllers for it. I don't know what that was about or in response to, so I am sorry for that. But thank you, a Virginia Possum. Now we have Colatique. How much I'd pay for it, or how much I'd pay for it and not feel ripped off? The answer is very different depending on the question. I'm curious what you have to say about that now. This is a response to me updating y'all on the prices on what they could potentially be, and I was right. And we landed at $80 with a $100 Ultimate Edition. So feels good to be right about something sometimes. Maybe not right about that. It'd be nice if the game was just $70. It'd be nice if they were like, you know what? It's not 80. It's 100, and it comes with everything. And there's no extra edition. It's just a flat 100. That's what we're doing. People would have had infinitely more respect for Rockstar if they had done that. Two-Face, but with a PH. Creative. Question. Why do people rush to pre-order games when it's digital? Just buy it when it drops or close to the date. Not talking about those who do it for hard copies. There's a couple of reasons. One is you just want to go ahead, you love the game, and you want to go ahead and just have that sense of ownership and be like, hey, I own this game when it comes out. I'm going to be able to play it. Cool. Another reason is maybe you just want to get it over with, just do it. It's one less thing to think about in the future. That's how I operate. When I wake up, I'm like, what are all the things I have to do today? And I knock them out, and I try to leave nothing for the next day. So if Grand Theft Auto 6 is ready to be pre-ordered, being the channel I am, I have to pre-order it the second it comes out, of course, and then get the footage of it, which I did. All sorts of reasons. But I think the main reason is just hype. It's official. My money is down on this game. I own it. I have it when it comes out. I'm playing it. It's just the step. It's part of the experience is the transaction. Even though it's not as sexy as it used to be, where you go to the midnight release and do it there, or pick up your pre-order. People just want to hurry up and buy the game and just have it. And it's just, especially for games like this. If it was a game no one ever heard of, I understand where you're coming from. Even if I didn't make this channel, I'd probably go ahead and pre-order it just because I'd be like, I don't know what my financial situation is going to look like around the time, but I won't have to worry about shelling out $100. So some people also do it for financial reasons. So there's a couple of reasons. Waiting, nothing wrong with waiting. It's your money. Do what you want with your money. But I wouldn't hate on anyone for choosing to pre-order a digital copy in advance, because there's a multitude of reasons. Some people just do it because they're fans. No problem with that. Master Gooner Gaming. Oh my God. Unrelated question, but I remember you talking about Crimson Desert, and while we wait for Grand Theft Auto 6, that's the main game I've been playing and having a blast. Just wondering what you think of it. I have no idea. I haven't played it. Or did I? I don't remember if I played it. I don't remember. If I did, it was for like 5 minutes. Like the 007 game. Okay, now we have Vlion Heart 5. Maybe a stupid question, but there's no stupid questions, homie. Well, that's not true, but people who always start with maybe this is a stupid question typically don't ask stupid questions. Maybe a stupid question, but is there anyone that would buy Grand Theft Auto 6 for $60 but not $70? No way it's going to be $60. I'm betting $80. Oh, look, price speculation. The calm before the storm. Yeah, you were right on the money with 80. But even more correct if you said 100, because that's how much it is for the actual game to get it all. I know there's arguments right now about people being like, well, you know, the game's technically $80. You don't have to buy the Ultimate Edition. You've never had trouble with it in the past. And I've even made that argument to some extent. But walking around a game world and having like shops that you can't interact with, being a reminder constantly of like, you didn't pay for this, it's annoying. It depends on how they do it too. If it feels like it's just in the world and you never would have interacted with it, then whatever. But I think what was happening is that Zelnick was under a lot of pressure to put the game at $100, or whoever made the final say. I'm assuming it's him, to release the game for $100. But he wanted to find a price point that he was like, no way, consumers will find that crazy. We need to have an $80 price point, and this was kind of the compromise for the shareholders. So, and I have that hunch after the meeting that we all did with the live stream when we were there for their quarterly. And they basically were just hounding him on like, hey, how much is this game going to cost? Money. You know, all a bunch of questions about money, which makes sense. They're shareholders, but their questions are going to be different than what we would ask. They want the game to be priced higher, so they make more money. Their stock goes up, that kind of thing. All right. The thing, this is the next person. I need to read your name. Abdel at ifhadjad J457. Totally butchered it. Just going to have to work with me. I'm really bad about that. Okay, the thing about GTA and Rockstar in general is that they focus on quality over quantity. Yeah, agreed. We might suffer from waiting, but when they deliver, no question whether the game will be good or not. That's why I picked this up as a question. I like to tell myself that the waiting will be worth a phenomenal experience. I think it will be. I think there's also value in reading your statements as well, so this has been kind of fun. Yes, I do think there will be a lot of value in playing Grand Theft Auto 6. I think it is going to blow every game away. And I think a lot of the hatred out there for specifically Rockstar is going to go away. People should be aiming that hatred at Sony right now, not Rockstar. Maybe Rockstar a little bit, but mainly it's Sony. And really all of them. Yeah, screw it, all of them. Don't be loyal to a company. The Demon Tiger. Will we get the trailer before the earnings call? That's the big question. No. All right, Two-Face again. Question, if someone can please help me understand why are people rushing to pre-order? This game isn't... all right, well, I already answered that question. People just want to pre-order it so they feel like they own it. I mean, they do own it now. Now they've put the money down. When the game's out, they can play it. I don't even think back when pre-orders were in limited supply, I don't really even think that was really the concern. Maybe for a lot of people, sure. But for a lot of people, it was just about, hey, I own the game now. I'm a fan of the game. I support the company by pre-ordering the game right now. You know, that kind of thing. John Gerwitz, 5203. Question, when are you going to deep dive into Crimson Desert? Probably never. The narrative isn't a strong point, which is a big reason why not. Don't compare it to RDR2, but the exploration and the amount of gameplay features it offers is amazing. I'm sure Chad keeps telling me about it. And I think he's on to Project Zomboid now, which is funny because I got him into that game without even playing it. I've just been telling him for years to play it. Or him and Vincent. Maybe I do got to play Crimson Desert. All right, now we have Javi 1995. What's your thought on if Rockstar added the 2-player mode from San Andreas into GTA 6 and let us complete the story mode with split screen with Jason and Lucia? That would be really cool, but probably technically impossible to pull off because I think it's going to be really complex with Jason and Lucia and how they do it. Also, it's just not making sense. They're sending signals based on this digital-only release and all that kind of stuff that this is not going to be the kind of thing they're thinking about, co-op and all that. Seems like they're more like the one-player, one console kind of mindset. So I wouldn't expect it. I think that was an interesting experiment on the PS2, going into the backyard, hitting the multiplayer thing. It was weird, wasn't it? I used to go on road trips with Chad when we were kids. We would get an RV and just go on road trips in San Andreas. It was really fun. So anyways, Ghost GSXR 750. Question, Andy. Do you think there will be surfing in GTA 6? Yes. I'm hopeful because it seems like the perfect way to implement a new and fun immersive gameplay mechanic while also showing off the physicality of simulated water. Thoughts? Yes, I think there's going to be surfing. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, I think there's going to be surfing. So yeah. Don Knox. Okay, great video, dude. Thanks, homie. To answer your last question, I would suggest maybe diving into the history of Grand Theft Auto. Or hell, dude, do walkthroughs. Oh, you're giving me suggestions on the channel. Thank you. Or just do whatever is going to make you happy. I think you're at a point now in viewership that you can do what you want. That you can do what you want and your fans will watch. I know I will. You've created something that has fans coming back for you, not just GTA content. Have a good day, night, afternoon, man. You're doing great. Keep it up. Man, much love to you. Really, really appreciate that, Don Knox. Did I say do in Knox originally? I'm so sorry. Thank you, Don Knox. Really appreciate you. That means a lot. I've kind of already talked about some of this stuff, so I won't repeat it. So I'll just say thank you and move on. And I hope you're having an amazing day or night or afternoon. Now we have Morally Biased 1772. GTA is here to stay. GTA 6 is not a question. It's how long before VR takes over. Ooh, this is in response to my AI has gotten scary video, the biggest video on the channel. And if I ever have a video hit 1 million views, it will be that one. Now we have Shadow Curse 8824. Everyone is talking about trust, romance, relationship meter. But what if there are two? What if both Jason and Lucia have their own? Ooh. One could be super happy with the relationship while the other one questions it. That itself could lead to different endings. That is a phenomenal idea. What if, you have a romance relationship meter and then a trust meter. So depending on like how much in love these characters are, but the trust, ooh. You're cooking, Shadow Curse. Keep leaving comments. That's that's a really cool idea. Love it. What do you guys think about that? You think that would be pretty interesting? Now we have Nathaniel Anders. Question. You mentioned about the map potentially opening up. I'm currently playing through Grand Theft Auto 4 and I like the sections being locked. I do too. If Grand Theft Auto 6 is open as GTA 5, what will you explore? Will you explore the whole map first? Let the story take you places? Always let the story take me places. Always. I'm very torn on which one I'd prefer to do, as part of me wants to jump in, blast music, and explore the world Rockstar created. But on the flip side, the idea of the story taking me to places like Saint Denis and RDR2 has a much better feel when experiencing it the first time there. Okay, yeah, do that. Let the story take you places, homie. It's always better that way. Promise. Do it that way. Let it constantly give you surprises and just have fun. All right. Emmanuel. I'm just going to call you Emmanuel. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. Did the police question me? Oh, wow, they did. Oh, this is about the trial. Not recently. They did when it went down, and it was the FBI. All right. Now you have 36 NFL Pro 36. Question. I was curious if you will ever dive into reaction content and your opinions of other people's information or speculation on the game, for instance. Subscribe for Tacos made a 23-minute video on GTA 6 gameplay information that I was curious to hear your opinion on. No, I probably won't do reactionary content to other people's videos. It is a fast way of making videos. I know like big YouTubers, once they've done the grind that I'm doing now, and that's where they do reaction content because it's something they can churn out every day. And they have such a massive subscriber base, like 500,000 to 1 million, that even if only, a tenth of them show up, they're going to make a lot of money off ad revenue. And that's why they do it. It's easy to churn out. But no, I probably won't ever do that. If I do, it'll be in the far distant future. And hopefully this channel is really big. If that ever happens. But no, not anytime soon, because I'm a big Dumbo myself. I like it when people react to my content, like Ink TV reacts to my videos sometimes. And I like that. It's interesting to hear what he agrees and disagrees with. And sometimes I learn things from him because he's learned stuff from other people. So I'm not knocking people who do reaction content. You gotta make the money. Also, sometimes there's value in reaction content. Like I've been loving watching Charlie or Penguin Zero or Moist Critical, whichever name is the appropriate one, go over the bricks and minifigs controversy with Reckless Ben. Love it. And I hope that company pays through the nose for what they've done to that old man trying to sell his Legos, and also the shady corruption that they've done to Reckless Ben. All right, Shaky Slide 1. Question, what's your favorite and least favorite game of all time and why? Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite game of all time. Why? Nostalgia is definitely a part of it. But 2, it is a phenomenal game. And I love the campiness. It's very avant-garde. And also, I played Metal Gear. I played all the Metal Gear games up until his death with my best friend. And and it's the only tattoo I have on me is a foxhound tattoo. That's a tribute to him. So that my buddy Chad paid for. So yeah, that's why. You know, a lot of reasons. I could always play Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake is my favorite video game character of all time. So yeah. And it's funny too, because I feel like John Marston kind of in some ways emulates that. This is part of my nerdy video game bloodline thing. I'm gonna have to show you guys this. Sometimes it's so cringy. But I've connected Red Dead Redemption, Metal Gear Solid, and Fallout through this video game timeline thing. And I'm trying to somehow tie Cyberpunk into it. And I make them all like related to like the Snake bloodline. That's how much I love that game. And that's how big of a dork I am. I tricked it out too. The timeline is like tricked out. And it's got like some epic name like Blood of the Chosen or some stupid crap like that. But whatever. I'll have to show you guys that sometimes. It's really cringy. Big Bash 8011. And also to say that if you're a big nerd and you do stuff like that, or you write fan fiction even, I don't do that. But if you do, screw it. Do what you want. Have fun. We're all on this rock for a limited amount of time. Be a kid. Play. Be creative. Work your ass off. But when it's time to be creative, or when you have the opportunity, do it. It keeps us sane. And don't ever let anyone tell you that it's stupid to do that, because it is not. That's why grown-ass men are playing Dungeons and Dragons these days. It's because it's fun. Have fun. It's better than getting shit-faced and blowing all your money in Las Vegas on cocaine and hookers. Well, it's debatable. But anyways, Big Bash 8011. Hey, Andy, question. With the new leadership taking place at Xbox and the new direction it's taking, do you think it'll be able to finally give PS6 some actual competition? I'm going to just stop you here because that sounds so pretentious. I'm just going to stop the question here because of everything going on with Sony and Xbox. Unless they change, I'm not. I'm going to read your question. I'm not a dick. In general, what is your thoughts on Xbox, and have you played any Xbox games on past Xbox consoles at a friend's house before? May the baby have the best childhood under you and Willow's care. See, this is why I need to read the rest of your question, because you're a sweetheart, and I really appreciate you saying that, Big Bash 8011. Dude, I used to play the crap out of Xbox 360. In fact, Vincent, he got Xbox Live before I did, which is funny. Because not to knock him or anything, but like he grew up from a pretty poor background. He found a way to get Xbox Live, damn it. I think through a card or like through a friend or something. I don't remember. Vincent, if you're here, you can tell us how you got Xbox Live. But he went missing for a while. I was like, Vince, where you at? And he's like, dude, I got Xbox Live. And I remember how he described it. Oodles of fun. So I came over to his house and I played Halo 3 with him. And oh my God, the fun, the Forge mode, the friends we made. One of them was named Dom. He's kind of an asshole, but we hung out with him. We made a bunch of friends on there, and there were a bunch of tryhards too, trying to like rank level 50 and ranked and all that. And I don't know, it was awesome. I did a 1v1 with Vincent one time, and I almost beat him. We did SWAT to where like it was the headshot thing, and we were down to 49, and he got me, and I threw my controller at him. I didn't even mean to, but I just threw it. I didn't even mean to throw it at him. I just threw it. And it rolled up his leg and smacked him in the face. So great memories with the Xbox. And I'm sorry about that, Vincent. But it was just like he was always talking so much mad shit about how he was so much better at Halo than us. And that was like the time where I was finally going to humble him. And I felt cheated. I choked. Anyways, thanks for your wishes on Willow and the baby. Really appreciate that. And to answer your question, I think Xbox and Sony are personally just in some really serious hot water, and everyone's going to go to PC. Based on what's going on right now. I don't really see much of a reason in buying a console right now, especially if the Steam machine can figure out its pricing. Things are shaking up. Things are going to change. So HCLXXSYCO. What's up, homie? Question, Band of Brothers. I think there's a game based off of it, but I would really, there is Brothers in Arms. But I would really like to know of newer systems just like, or just because I think it's one of the best war, I want to say movies, but it's a TV show, even though it was so good. But that's the war game I want. If that's the war game you want, go play. It's a little bit to learn, but I promise you it's worth it. And Dick Winters is in it. And the 101st Airborne Division. You can play alongside him. You play as the 101st Airborne Division in several of the missions, and the stuff that happens in the TV show, I applied the same techniques and strategies that Dick Winters actually did and won. Also, Karen Tan's in it, all this stuff. What is this magical, amazing, best World War II game ever of all time ever created? It is called Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, Ostfront. Look that up, buy all the DLC, have fun. It's an RTS, but you can direct control any soldier. There's a lot of micromanagement, but you can slow things down. You play massive battles with intricate objectives. It is the most immersive experience you will ever have with a World War II game. And by the very end of it, if you get the mod, everything stays, all the bodies will be there, and you can just survey the battlefield. Every crater, every destroyed building, everything is all there. And you can walk around and relive the battle and just be like, damn, oh, that's where, and they're all named too. Be like, oh, so that's where like Chucky went down. He got hit there from a sniper when he was trying to cross, from here to there. And you're like, damn. There's medics in the game. There's a mod that has longer bleed out timers. I suggest you get it. And it's so cool to see from a bird's eye perspective and then down on the ground, that perspective. They even have a whole 101st Airborne addition to the DLC, through DLC. And the first thing is it's a stealth mission. You drop in as one paratrooper and you take that direct control and you Metal Gear Solid your way around a bunch of German soldiers trying to link up in the middle of the night. They're doing the whole Flash Thunder thing with the little cricket thing. So, dude, if you love Band of Brothers, I can recommend no other game to you other than Brothers in Arms, Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, Ostfront. I'm telling you, that's the game. Takes a little bit to learn, but you will love it. I recommend that game to everyone. And get the gore mod too. BM's Bloody Mess mod or something like that. It makes it realistic. Also, there's another show called like Masters of the Air, Masters of the Sky out. So, if you've seen Band of Brothers, I'm sure you've seen the Pacific. This is now about bombers who flew over France in World War II. Master of the Air, Master of the Sky, whatever. It's got the guy who played Elvis recently as one of the main guys. He plays an Air Force bomber guy. Well, it would be Army Air. It's not Air Force back in World War II. So yeah, check that out too. It's another Tom Hanks Spielberg team up. Like the Pacific. If you haven't seen the Pacific, wow, the kid from Jurassic Park gets to go fight the Japanese. So go check it out. All right, KO1K4R. Question, when Discord and when can I be your friend? You can be my friend. I don't know about Discord, man, because I barely get on it. Sav hits me up on it all the time. And I'm stupid. I think I have friend requests on there. And yeah. I don't know. Maybe eventually Discord. Vincent's been talking about like running a Discord. He's built one, but I don't know how that works and how much time he has to do it. We'll see. If I do this full time, we'll get a Discord. Eris Bosman, RZ9K0. Question, what kind of music do you listen to and what are your favorite bands? And do you like Iron Maiden? I love Iron Maiden. Love Iron Maiden. Drives the lady insane. I've listened to their entire discography more times than I can count. When I was working for a life insurance company, I just went through their discography over and over and over again, put it all in a playlist, narrowed it down to my favorites, and I think it's like 100 songs. It's something ridiculous. They have so much music. Love them. Seen them twice, maybe 3 times. Twice. I'm supposed to see them a 3rd time after Senjutsu came out, and then it didn't pan out, and my pops had to sell the tickets for money reasons. Love Iron Maiden. I grew up, I love Bullet for My Valentine. Shoot me. Do it. That's not, I know they get made fun of a lot. Their first 2 albums are incredible and their EP. I love The Poison and I love Scream Aim Fire. I love All That Remains. The Fall of Ideals is one of my favorite albums. I love Parkway Drive. I love Kill Switch Engage. I love Avenged Sevenfold. I like My Chemical Romance. Their second album. That's about it, I think, from them. I just like that second album because it's all over the place. The one with The Ghost of You on it. I love that album. So I wouldn't call myself like a huge fan, but I love that album. I love the Misfits. I love Trivium. In fact, you can probably call them my favorite band. I've seen them so many times. Love Matt Heffy. Love his work ethic. Love their music. And The Court of the Dragon coming out right after What the Dead Men Say. Back-to-back bangers. Great band. Also, Matt Heffy. There's a fight that broke out in front of me the last time I saw them. And this guy punched another guy in the nose. And I was trying to hold him back. The guy with the busted nose, who I think started the fight. And Matt Heffy stopped the show and shined a light over there. And he thought it was me and him fighting. And I was like, no. And I was pointing over to the guy it was. And that guy also had a busted nose. So anyways, they kicked him out. Or at least escorted him off because he was there for the whole show. So check this out. After that, we're walking out of the show and that guy parked right next to where we parked. And he was like, oh, hey, I saw you called me out. And I'm like, oh, now this is a big guy. I'm like, now I'm going to have to get in a fight in a parking garage. But I managed to smooth things over with him and played dumb. And I was like, oh no, that other guy, he started it, even though the other guy was the asshole. Some people are just looking to fight. And I'm tired of it. So, I did the whole local band thing and everyone's, measuring their penises and fighting each other and so many fights. I got a really crazy story, but I'll skip that. Anyways, yes, I like that. But I also love the Isley Brothers. Logic was okay. I listened to his Celebration album or whatever, but then I was introduced to MF Doom. So much better. God, I love MF Doom. Really sad how he died. I listened to a little bit of Sleep Token because the lady loves Sleep Token. I'm not a huge fan, but they have a couple of songs that I really like. Lorna Shore's all right. I dig them. They've been around for a while, but when they got Will, they exploded. I like Bring Me the Horizon. They just re-released the Count Your Blessings album, and then they renamed Liquor and Love Lost to Dragon Slayer for some reason. I don't know why they did that, but it's a great album. Loved it growing up. Used to make fun of them until I discovered that album because I thought the Suicide Season album was really dumb when I was a kid, but now I really appreciate it. It's because of all the scene girls. They put me off to it because they were all such and such psychs on MySpace and stuff like that. And so, it's like how Poison probably felt in the 80s. All the girls liked them, so all the guys oh, they're stupid, don't listen to them, that kind of thing. But no, great band. I listen to a lot of stuff. Sometimes people say they listen to everything and they listen to one genre. I do listen to everything, but I predominantly listen to metal. I like metal, but I also like a lot of lo-fi. I like a lot of electronic music. Hell, I like Erasure, which is the guy comes out dressed up as a swan. I'll listen to that. I love Rammstein. I've seen them in America. They're crazy. Moonspell. God, I love Moonspell. I like The Cure. Hell, I like the Smiths. I like a lot. I love 80s music. God, I love Blue Oyster Cult. All sorts of bands. Yeah. If I vibe with the song, I vibe with it. And that's how it goes. Hell, I even put a Justin Bieber song on my favorites. Stay. Because I really like the electronic beat there. Now, ideally, you get the one, I'm not trying to be a dick, but ideally you get the one without the vocals because they sound kind of I don't like the vocals. They're get drunk, nah. I don't like that. But I like the beat in the background. It's very good. Very good instruments. There's a slowed down version with the vocals removed, and I really like. I did like Mr. Kitty for a while, but like that After Dark song, but there's some stuff coming out about him being kind of weird with kids, and can't support that. So, which sucks because he created one of the best love songs of all time. Anyways, moving on. Sheriff Woody, 860. Question. Have you seen the trailer for the new Call of Duty mode called DMZ? No, I haven't. I've been turned off of Call of Duty for the past few years. Me too. Past decade or so. But this mode is looking very interesting. It's an extraction shooter, supposed to be a little more hardcore with healing mechanics. Realistic. I'll just tell you what. I'm going to read your question. Healing mechanics, realistic explosions that'll blow your feet off. Crafting mechanics, forward operating base that you can upgrade. A dynamic weather and star-wanted system like GTA or Metal Gear Solid 5, where the AI will react differently to you depending on your actions in the world. We've had a beta for a few years ago. It's pretty bare bones, but it was really good. And one of the things I enjoyed most about Call of Duty at the time could also be good for the channel. It's seeming to be pretty popular in the gaming sphere right now. For Call of Duty channels, yes. Bro, I'm not going to lie. I'm probably never going to touch Call of Duty single player again. I'm just probably not. I don't know. I could change my mind. I don't know. The extraction shooter thing sounds cool. There's so many good games out there, though. And dude, I play really like super nerdy, not even AA, but like 1A games that are like super immersive and stuff like that. And I think that's where my heart is. Not gonna lie. But have fun. Play what you want. I might check it out. If it looks fun and people are really having a good time, I'll check it out. Check out Foxhole, by the way. That's a really fun permanent war game. It's not permanent. The wars just last months in real life, and both teams have to work together. You pick a side and you're stuck on that side until the end of the war. And you fight each other until one side wins. And there's logistics, Air Force, Navy, naval landings, all sorts of stuff. Absolutely incredible game. All right. And it's just like when you play the game, that's it. Like it's one map. That's it. All the players, they fight in the war. It's awesome. Florida PP. Or is it Florida Pepe? I'm sorry. Question. What do you think about the fact that compared to other crime media, GTA protagonists usually get away with it? Also, sorry for what you've been going through. Your videos have been helping me through a tough time. Love you, bro. Really appreciate that, homie. I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto. You got to get away with it, right? I mean, yeah. How's is the game supposed to end? You not getting away with it? End up with you getting locked up? They could do it that way. It'd be pretty interesting if they did. I don't know. Now we have EJD Binham, 3739. Question. As an old guy trying YouTube and figuring out all this video and editing stuff, what would be your best advice for someone just starting out without a dime or a clue? Man, I appreciate that. Really, especially asking me. Okay, look, your audio quality is the most important thing, even over video quality, way more important. Focus on these three things: your audio quality, your authenticity, and your topic. You get those three things right, you got a YouTube channel. Don't focus so much on like the editing and all that kind of stuff yet. Get those three things down first and go from there. Your audio quality, when you're talking, your authenticity, and then the topic. Topic is everything. And I see a lot of channels, especially if you join like the YouTube partnered Reddit or whatever, then unpartnered, whatever. And they're like, oh my God, my videos are amazing. No one's watching them. And it's because the topics are uninteresting. So that's all there is to it. That's why I don't make videos about Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, Osfront. Even though it's a phenomenal game. I hope that helps. And thanks for asking. Now we have Mr. Tear the Club Up. Oh my God, I'm stupid. Mr. Tear the Club Up. What's up, homie? I know that you don't like people, or I know that you don't think people will be watching when GTA 6 comes out. But I watch while I'm at work. And I'm not quitting my job because the game comes out. One of my favorite channels. Question: Do you think all of Grand Theft Auto Online will pivot to a role player server, or do you think role play will be a completely separate thing? I think we're going to see more role play elements in Grand Theft Auto 6, but I think you're right. We're going to see role play like split over to kind of like another server, that kind of thing, like a role play specific server, that kind of deal. So hope that answers that. Thanks for the question. Now we have Unfair Buttocks 3554. Congratulations on the second kid. Now you have two people to show the world to. This is so true. That movie game adaptation question immediately made Gremlins and Kreitz pop in my head for a game idea. Kreitz for horror, Gremlins for comedy. Yeah, I would love that. I'm trying to think. If you played, what was it? Y'all ever play that King Kong movie adaptation game? It was really good. Like, unsurprisingly good. And let's see, you're responding to me going, this is the episode 15 when I was getting sappy. Man, what else? I don't know. I need to think about that. I'm going to think about that tonight when I'm going to bed. You guys ever do that? Have thoughts that you like lay down and you're like, I can't wait to have that thought when I go to sleep. Maybe my life is just that regimented. If not, Robert Ling 4590. Hey, Andy, I appreciate you opening up to us. You're welcome, good sir. Yeah, it was kind of a messy episode. I can understand needing an outlet, and I'm glad you found one in us. Also, a supernatural game, if done right, would be awesome. But question, there is not a lot known about the Panhandle part of the map. Do you think they will include Pensacola, naval bases, or smaller towns like Navarre? I think they said that right. Thanks, brother. Well, thanks for asking. And look, I'm a Texan, so I'm programmed to just not like the Panhandle. Anytime that name is brought up, we just, we turn around. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, why not? It'd be pretty cool. They've had military bases in the past in their games, so I don't see why they couldn't. Sav has this whole idea about wildfires being up there and then them slowly opening up the map and more things be revealed. So we'll see. I've got nothing to go off of to tell you that will be there, or I would, But thanks for asking. Now we have RevBo Media. This was a fantastic episode, man. Real insight into you, and don't realize how much more connected these episodes make your fans feel to you. Yeah, that's awesome. It's weird when I record them because I'm like, who would listen to this crap? And then you guys do, and it's awesome. Because we're just having a conversation. And sorry, if you hear a thunderstorm or a baby, you may hear one or the two. So in the background, I've been actually cutting this episode up into pieces throughout the day and then going and doing dad duty and then coming back when things are clear and the lady's taking over, giving her a break because she's pumping. But your question, why don't you go fully into YouTube? You say you have 2 other jobs, but you by a long way are the most engaging, best natural speaker, and the same with a scope that could very easily surpass the GTA sphere and how you allow people into your life. That depth is what people are drawn to. Even if it's a few months full force before GTA 6, I think you should give it a shot. If you can't, who else has hope? That may have just made my decision to... You may have just talked me over the yeah. Not sure how much I could say. Yeah, I might have to follow your advice is what I'm saying. So if a coworker's listening, I love you, homie. But this has kind of been the plan for some time. So, anyways, yeah, I have a coworker who knows about my channel. That was probably a stupid idea of me to do. But if you're here, how's it going, homie? Anyways, yeah, I think that's the move. The thing is children, right? And then student loan payments are coming in, which is funny because it's like, I don't know, I didn't really need to go to college to get the job I got, but whatever. I still got to pay them. So, nothing in life is worth doing without a risk. And I'm okay putting myself at risk. And I'm okay with my wife telling me that she's okay. Yeah, Will and I got married, by the way. But I'm okay with, her telling me that she's okay going with that risk. The children don't really have a say, right? Now, I could be like Charles Ingalls, not the Little House on the Prairie TV show Charles Ingalls, but the real life Charles Ingalls, and just kind of go off and do whatever I like, look for opportunities wherever I can, be kind of a wacky guy, and try to make the best out of this. The thing is I've been in positions to where it looks like something's going to work out very well, and then it's crashed and burned. And I don't want that to be with my children on my back. That's the only reason I haven't. If I didn't have them, I would have already made the jump. No questions asked. So, but maybe this is what it's going to take. Is just fully committing myself to it. Any business owner has to take a risk, right? And that's what YouTube is it's a business. So, and people are like, well, you could be demonetized, you could be this, you could be that. Well, YouTube is just like a job. It is a job. This is a full-time job. So yeah, I could be fired at my full-time job. In fact, that's part of the reason I started hitting this so hard is because once I went fully remote and stopped traveling to shoot, I thought they were going to let me go. And I was like, well, maybe I can make some side income on YouTube, pursuing my passions. And originally, I did what every idiot who thinks to make money on YouTube does. I went and I did a bunch of stupid stuff, like I made a horror channel, stuff I wasn't interested in. And I tried to provide quality and value, but I was still trying to find like the fastest, cheapest turnaround I could. And that's the wrong mindset for YouTube. The best mindset for YouTube is quality. And, but how do you define quality? Well, I think it's being authentic. I think it's being real, but it's a lot of other things too. There's a lot of small things I do on this channel, to add some quality to the videos. And you guys tell me time and time again, the videos are high quality. And it means the world to me because I put so much effort into them. So you get what you put in. And while I'm not doing this channel entirely for money, because I started it before that, I did it as just to share video games, passion and stuff like that. And it'll be here, even if it makes no money, even if, still making videos occasionally, or even if, I get demonetized or, don't quit my job, I'll still be on here. because this is my outlet. And I think that's what all these people who are making these AI channels to make a quick buck need to understand is like, no, you got to be real. You know what I mean? So man, I really appreciate that. It's cool to see that recognized. And you may have convinced me that this is the right move. You know, the lady is now telling me that that's the right move. And I'm the only one worried about it. But she calls me a miser. I'm really bad. I'm like, no, we won't spend no money, you know, because I've been all over the place when it comes to money. I've never been rich, but I've been broke, extremely broke to the point, you know, pulling quarters out of the couch, go buy cigarettes when you should be spending on rent. So, you know, I've been really broke and I just don't ever want to go back to that because it sucks. So, especially with kids. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting in my own way. Thanks for making me think, RevBoat Media. Really appreciate you, homie. And you may have just inspired me to take that next step, take the leap. Z4D0R342. What's up, homie? I think we're building one of the most united communities that I've ever seen. I agree. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I think the majority of this community here now, I think that the majority of this community are here for you, always have, even though I love the GTA 6 videos. I'm loving to see you grow as a person. Looking forward to the future of this channel. Man, thank you so much. Question, totally off topic, but what got you into music? As a fellow musician and metal enthusiast, I'd love to follow this life too, but I always find myself hesitating, mostly because of the money. Especially with AI, I'm not going to lie, dude. But here, I'll finish what you said. Also, congrats on the baby, hoping it'll be healthy. Most of all, hope you're happy. Thank you so much. And yeah, the baby's happy, healthy. He's good. He's pooping every 30 minutes. Good God. I got the other one in here with me. He's playing. So I'm not sure if the mic's picking that up or not. But let's see. What got me into music was Randy Rhoads. So I was really into like techno and stuff in like 6th grade. And then my pops showed me, Paranoid from Black Sabbath. And then had the tribute album with Randy Rhoads and Ozzy Osbourne. And I'd listened to that. And I'd never heard a guitar played like that before. And then I got really into guitar. Like really into it. And my mom, she had this old Sigma acoustic from the 1980s. It's, if you go check out my music, Are We Alive or whatever, that's the acoustic I'm holding. Which is funny because people are like, why are you holding an acoustic guitar when you predominantly do metal? You have like 1 or 2 acoustic songs. Well, that's why. And I remember I'd cut my fingers on it, on the strings until they'd bleed intentionally. Like I just keep mashing my fingers on there to build calluses because it was hard to play that thing. Those strings were old. So I was cutting my fingers on it to get it, until they calloused over enough to where I could like put the string down without my fingers hurting. And then I started playing Iron Man, Smoke on the Water and all the oldies. And then just went off from there. And before I knew it, I was shredding on the guitar. It just kind of happened over time, self-taught. I got in a fight when I was in high school. I wasn't really a fight in high school. I got jumped while I was outside of high school by a high school bully who's no longer here. He crashed his car into a tree and died maybe about 7-8 years ago. I don't even remember. Anyways, guy was a total asshole. And he followed me and my buddy Vincent. And he was pretty honorable about the ass kicking. It wasn't really jump. He started a fight with me. He was way bigger than me. He whooped my ass. And I put up my left hand to block and he knocked my ring finger to the right. My right, if you open your hand and your left hand and your thumb's facing to the left and you're looking down at your ring finger, that top bit is leaning to the right for me because of that. His fist caught it and it knocked it originally way further than that. But I was with my buddy Vincent actually. And when we got back home after that ass whooping, his mom snapped it into place and I put duct tape around it and that's how it healed. And because of that, it gets in the way of me being able to use my pinky when I'm playing real fast. So I learned to play really fast with those 3 fingers, but it restricts you not having that 4th. So I don't know, just kind of an interesting tidbit. So my technique is whack, but I say life's short. We're all going to die. If you want to make a go of music, do it. There's a lot of people out there now using Suno prompts and then saying that they're musicians. I think that's like going to a restaurant, ordering food off the menu and then calling yourself a cook. But hey, if you are making music, go for it. And there's not a lot of money in it. I think we had to shake down a dude for money in where was it, Kentucky, because we needed the money for gas, and so it kind of got rough in there. Promoters are cheap. I remember cashing in my paycheck, taking the money. I have a picture of it, and I think I've shown it on this channel before, but I went and I cashed my paycheck, making minimum wage. And it was contract work minimum wage too, so the government was taking a third of that. And then I took all of that and gave it to the promoter, even the taxes, so that we could cover pre-sales when we were an unknown band with no one to sell our tickets to, so that we could play a show. So I'll tell you, something I learned in that time is if you have a buddy who has land, go throw your own shows. Like, get a PA system. It's way cheaper than pre-sales. I'm telling you, go get your own PA system and throw a party and perform for people. And you'll develop a group because they'll like you. I fell too much into the partying part of it, and everything kind of fell apart. It started to become about alcohol and chicks instead of like what originally got me into it. Because when I first got into music, I was like a try-hard business guy. And I remember when in the Outlawed, my buddy Brandon, he makes fun of me for this because I was constantly drawing like again, until it was perfect. And the first show we played in Deep Ellum, we sounded great. Like we didn't come out sounding like a garage band. We came out sounding like a professional band and played our 5-song set, sounding great because we had drilled those songs over and over and over. And that's what it takes. You got to sound good live these days, or you just have to blow up online. You could try the TikTok angle. Sleep Token, they're having a phenomenal career right now. They're new. So yeah, AI hasn't completely replaced it. So go for it. Your odds are slim, but they're not none. And also, thanks for congratulating me on the baby and stuff. And good luck in your music career, bro. Go for it. And hey, if you ever get big, you got to put my head up on one of the screens in the background behind you, okay? Just kidding. But good luck with your music, man. Let me know what you play. Kelly Cameron 94. If you have your music, by the way, I'll shout y'all's music out. I might not like play it in the videos like I used to because I get copyright struck because of how you guys set it up. And that's fine. You should set it up like that so you can collect your royalties on YouTube. But what I can do is I can tell people, if you're interested in this music, go check out this artist, or like link you or put you in the pinned comment. I could do something like that. And I think I have a cool enough community here that if they're into that genre, they might go check it out. And music, I think, too, is one of the hardest things to get people to like, because people have to have that sense of like, I discovered this. It has to be a very personal connection. So when you're starting out and you're not anyone and you're like telling people to listen to your music, no one cares. So good luck with that. So my advice with that is throw the best, most bitchin' badass shows you can so that people keep coming back and are loyal, and then they start telling other people about your music. And that's what you can do. Man, I would love to play music live again. Oh man, that's what I wanted to do for a living so bad. Oh, there's nothing like playing in a packed venue and the crowd is feeling it, and you're a little drunk and you rip a guitar solo and there's a mosh pit, and oh God, I miss it. It was fun. It could have gone places, but it didn't because it fell apart. That's the story of most bands. Good luck. Killer Cameron 94. Question: how was your new playthrough of GTA 5 going? Didn't you already ask this? Killer Cameron, you and your questions. Am I having fun? Yeah, I'm having fun. Are you just taking the story in the game as it comes and not just crapping on it? Yes, I am doing that. P.S. I have been loving the first 2 episodes. I love you. I love your role-playing brain. Well, thank you. I think I've answered this. This is probably the 3rd time I've answered this question because I think Sav and I chose this, didn't we? Whatever. Anyways, I appreciate you, homie. Yeah, I'm having a good time. And I hope you're doing all right. Killer Cameron's a G. Love him. All right, we have BHK032. Fair play for opening up in this video, mate. You don't see many YouTubers be this open, and it's really refreshing. The community you're building here is incredible too. Question for the next episode: what music would you like to see on the next GTA? Radio stations, musicians, on-air hosts. Well, Laszlo's gone, and that sucks because I loved Laszlo. Who didn't love Laszlo, right? I would like a lot of good 80s music. I'd love post-punk. Also, there's been this like wave of like dark wave and post-punk that's kind of coming out recently. I would like to hear a lot of that because I'm a huge fan of it. So that would be cool. And also some metal. Let's get some metal up in there. Everything else, you can play the pop music and all that, but give us a wide spread. because that's where we're at now. Good question. But I want radio personalities like like you remember, what was it? Maurice Chavez, pressing the issues, VCPR, stuff like that. I hope we have good talk radio stuff, because I actually find myself listening to that more in Grand Theft Auto games than the music sometimes is talk radio. Now we have Trabago 210. Hey man, it's very refreshing to hear a YouTuber just talk and be real with you. So this is all in response, by the way, guys, to the episode number 15. Hearing your experiences resonate with me very much, bro. I would totally watch when the time comes to branch out. And also, a lot of Grand Theft Auto 6 channels, I question what they will do after. But you actually coming out and talking about this definitely makes me think whatever you do after this will be entertaining. Also, lastly, I know this sounds kind of cliche, but try and enjoy this boring time, y'all. GTA 5 is going to be so damn nostalgic in a few years, and we will never get to be in the middle stage again. You're right about the slow inevitability of time, but if you can, just try and enjoy the little things about life, because you're absolutely right about the march of time, especially since it's summer right now. But seriously though, what you said hits deep, Andy. I'm glad you stayed alive to make this channel and do all of this. And it's very interesting to hear about your past as a musician. And you make music, and hearing that relationship that never truly got closure hits deep, especially since me and her both really love to do music, but ended horribly. This way she goes, brother. I'm sorry. And you're right. We should be appreciating this time more. I know we're feral for more info on Grand Theft Auto 6. But yeah, the hype's fun, guys. I think it was on a Simpsons episode in one of the earlier seasons. And this French guy's trying to seduce Marge. And he says, the anticipation is the best part. And that stuck with me because he's right. The anticipation is the best part. And when you get it, let's be real. But, the anticipation too. In bed or with video games. So, yeah. Or when you're shooting guns before the gun go off. And then when it do go off. But yeah, enjoy this time. It's part of the experience. And that's why when people ask like, hey, why are you pre-ordering digitally? Well, there's your answer. People are enjoying the now. Gunner J96. Question. Can you please keep posting authentic talking podcasts? This is my favorite video you've done. Also, congrats on the second kid. I've got two myself. Congratulations to you, Gunner J96. I'm sorry it took a month to actually do another one of these again. I'll try to do more. And I really appreciate you saying that, homie. Thank you. Maybe I should try and take my standard videos and make them feel a little bit more authentic and just be more authentic. What I do is I go off bullet points and then I chop up my speech a lot. So we'll see. But I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Johnny Underwood, 1708. Question. Do you think there would be a chance of Rockstar adding Savannah, Georgia to the map? Also love the channel and really enjoy your content. Keep up the good work. I do. Sav and I talked about this actually in the episode that came after the one you're commenting on. But yeah, I do. So we'll see. Maybe in online. Now we have Gravoking. Sorry for the third comment. No need to apologize, homie. I don't think a YouTuber's ever going to be upset about you commenting more on their video. All right, so you put a long comment here. But I would love to say that the authenticity is truly beautiful. It really does make us feel appreciated compared to other YouTubers, and I genuinely get happy to see your notification. I am currently in between A-levels and uni, which is kind of like college in the US. I don't really know what a levels is equivalent to. I don't either, because I don't know what that is. But I would listen to your videos whilst I was studying, and it would make it more enjoyable in comparison to to music or others. I wish you the best with your kid. I'm so sorry. I wish you the best with your kid. I may feel proud of you because that is truly a life achievement, which feels so hard today. Yes, dude. It is hard to get the money together to have children. Feels like I have a lot of friends because of my social anxiety. It's hard to meet new people, especially women. That is difficult. I know. My brother talks about that. It's been hard for him. By any chance, if you are reading this, I have a question for you, possibly of Grand Theft Auto 6 hiding a city or island that hasn't been leaked or released somehow. It seems optimistic, but Project Americas, or whatever it was called, was tried. Could it be added in the future when the next-gen consoles are released? Another question. Well, before I move on to that next question, I would say if they're going to do it, if it's not already in the base game, it's going to be done in online. I wouldn't expect it to be added like in the next version of the game. I just wouldn't. Another question is, even if we reach a point in technology where almost anything is possible due to this new age of AI and data processing, will this technology be unaffordable? Do you think we will live in a watchdogs type of world where our data is worth more than our lives. I just did a video on this. Man, you guys are predicting the future. And privacy doesn't exist. Dude, go watch my most recent video. It's the one where it's like, I'm never buying a console again. Go watch that. I'll go into great detail on that. That's a topic I've been worried about. It feels our free speech is constantly being taken away and our right to privacy is slowly being stripped away. Amen, brother. I don't know. I worry. Well, I'm saying amen, brother, to you. I don't know. I worry about the future and want a second opinion. Do you also think AI will be the end of the current economy? These are heavy questions for a GTA 6 YouTuber. I don't know, man, but look, I'll tell you that we're in uncharted territory, and I'm just as scared as you are. So much stuff is being implemented. So much stuff is being implemented, so AI chooses what we see, such as news, and maybe the AI will become news itself, and we won't be allowed to see certain things. We're already there. You go on Facebook or whatever, you look up what you want to see, and that's what you're going to have populated with. You know, I don't really use TikTok much, but when I'm on there, everything I do see is like shooting videos. And then when my lady uses it, everything is like cute puppies and babies videos. So there's already that. Because it, was going to show you what you're engaging with. So if you engage with stuff negatively online, like if you enjoy negative content, that's what it's going to feed you. And I feel like that's why people are getting so pissed off and angry. One part of it, and choosing sides and stuff like that. So it is a good way of controlling, for lack of a better term, the masses. So us. And yeah, in news, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this too with AI articles and stuff, or not AI articles, but AI images, and people are commenting on it like they're real online. It's maddening. So yeah, everyone lives in some sort of illusion bubble right now. As right now, things are boiling up politically and internationally with so much stuff. I'm sure they don't want us to think for ourselves as it doesn't benefit them. Bit of a rant, but that's the shit I'm worried about. And it feels like it would, what would be a dystopian fiction 5 years ago doesn't seem unlikely present day. Anyway, love you and your videos, Andy. Gravo King, I hope you're doing okay, man. Totally valid concerns, 100%. Go watch, if you haven't already, you made a comment on it, but go watch my video on the thing where I'm like, I'm not buying a console again, because I get into this when I talk about it. And I share my thoughts very passionately on there. It's the only video I lose my temper in, so go check it out. 100%, I feel you. And I think a lot of people listening feel you and, are worried about the same things. So it's a brave new world. I got a song about that actually called Brave New World. Shameless plug. Question. So this is from John Gerwitz, 5203. Hey, what's up, homie? Question. Do you think the NPCs will retain any knowledge of you? Supposedly for games like Fable, they're trying to make 1,000 unique NPCs who all have their own routines and certain feelings towards you. Sav was telling me about this, and Fable's always talked a big game and then come out and not delivered on it, but still been a good game. I think they could probably pull it off. I don't think it would really serve GTA 6 to do that. I think it'll be more of a region memory system, very similar to Red Dead Redemption 2. Just because there's so many more NPCs. Now you might have like a couple of people, like you remember the Civil War vets in Red Dead 2, people like that who you interact with throughout the game, stuff like that, to have that kind of like relationship with a stranger kind of thing. So yeah. All right. We are now in the less than 1 month territory. So now I can feel less guilty now. We have 10-4E. Question. Can we make an inventory only lobby, an invite only lobby once the online mode drops so we can have like a Leonida ride out and just explore the map with the community? There's no way for me to answer that right now, but I'll tell you that I would think we'll probably be able to have private lobbies. I'm pretty sure you can in GTA 5. King John 95. My question, is there going to be cheat codes in Grand Theft Auto 6? Of course. In what world would they not have cheat codes in Grand Theft Auto 6? If they don't do that, that's it. It's time to bust out the AR-15. I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's going to be cheat codes. There's got to be, right? It's Rockstar, buddy. Cell phone cheat codes. Yeah. 5 had them, 4 had them. For sure there's going to be cheat codes. They put them in the world. They hide them. And then, yeah, there's going to be cheat codes. All right, DJ Nikki, 8980. What's up, homie? Question. What is exactly the first thing you would do in Grand Theft Auto 6? Because what I do is find a massive group of people and get a random car. Oh, this is you bastard. You're the guy who had me and Sav cracking up. I've answered your question. You evil son of a bitch. No, what I'm going to do though is I'm just going to play like I said earlier, I'm just going to go into the game and play through it as I imagine the characters would, and just go from there. And then probably have to save and go plow a car into a bunch of people, if I'm being honest. So, anyways, thanks for leaving your sadistic question. John Gurwitz 5203 again. What's up? Do you think that this game having to be accessible to a large casual audience means that we lose immersion and challenging gameplay because of that? That is something I've been worried about. I'm not gonna lie. I have thought about that. I was like, wow, it's funny how like this is the biggest game of all time. How's it supposed to have an edge? But what got him there was that edge. And here's hoping, right? But Rockstar, I feel like, has been so bold on what they do with some of the things that I say let them cook. I got a good feeling about this one. We'll see. It will not be Ubisoft slop. I will say that. But that is a real concern. And why I think we're going to kind of lose the Rockstar we know after this game releases is because the money's just going to be too big. All right, we have Sean Mahoney, 2671. Again, guys, sorry for the pronunciations. The answer to most of your why questions is that not everyone wants it in the base game. Running arms in first person looks so ridiculous, and I wouldn't want that in my game. What are you talking about? It's in like every game ever. Just making it mod friendly. Oh, this is to my Starfield video. Just making it mod friendly so people can make it their own is a way better option. Disagree. No, I think that Bethesda needs to get with the times. I'm not saying they have to have sprint arms, but they might look a little goofy in the mod, but I mean, when you see your fingers at the bottom left of the screen in Call of Duty when you're sprinting, no one's complaining about that. No, I don't think there's any excuse for Bethesda. It's time for them to step up their game. Bot McClanker, again, what's up? I love that name, man. Question, have you done a video on NPC crime? If so, could you point me in the right direction? Pretty please with a Glock 18 on top. Edit, I'm team limited weapons all day. Let us progress towards more stored weapons, weapon sling, duffel bag, and allow us to contemplate method of approach using limited weapons. So I have a weapon systems video. Just click on my Grand Theft Auto 6 playlist, scroll, you'll see it. There's a weapon systems video, and then in every weapon that'll be in Grand Theft Auto 6 video. So check out those two. NPC crime. I think I released a video right after you, or no, it wasn't after you. Heat management in Grand Theft Auto 6. It's around the time of this video. Again, check the Grand Theft Auto 6 playlist. It's in there. Heat management. Yeah. Oh, and Scary Police AI, which is one of my biggest videos on here. So just check the GTA 6 playlist. It's in there. Juice Luke 7. Andy, question. What's a game you expect to hate but ended up loving once you actually played it? Mass Effect. I tried to play it, thought it was boring as hell, started it over, fell in love with it, and then went right into 2. Or no, I didn't go right into 2. It took a little bit for that to come out. But yeah, Mass Effect. Yeah, I absolutely hated that game when I first tried it. And now, when I played it, which is over a decade ago now, absolutely loved it. I need to go back through those. I have the trilogy. So many games, so many books, so many movies, so little time. Let me know y'all's. What's a game that you started out that you hated that you ended up loving? Slim Fozzie. 710, okay. Well, here, I'll just read it. Would be cool to see something similar to a bounty system in Red Dead Redemption 2. I think we're going to see something like that, maybe. Bounties make sense because of the time period, but they could have a system that's more modern, like warrants or something. Well, in Grand Theft Auto 5, didn't they have it to where, like, as Trevor, you went up to that lady in the trailer and you hunted people down? I'm trying to remember. Anyways, maybe there's a warrant out for your arrest in a certain area and you have to pay some kind of bribe or fine to get rid of it, or maybe for certain crimes. They just want to bring you in for questioning. There could be certain consequences for evading police and committing crimes that would make the world feel a lot more fleshed out and immersive. Even surrendering and spending a little time in jail with cutscenes like in Red Dead Redemption 2 would make it feel more fleshed out. Totally agree. I think those are excellent ideas. I mean, the game is already done, but I'm hoping there's going to be a system, like you said, just something a little bit more fleshed out, more akin to Red Dead Redemption 2, just like you're saying. I think that's an excellent idea, and I hope that we see that. What do you guys think? You want to see something a little bit more realistic? How do you like your Grand Theft Auto cooked? Big Bash 8011. Hey, Andy, question. What game other than Grand Theft Auto 6 are you looking forward to playing the most in 2026? P.S. You hearted my question on episode 15, but I've edited it after posting it. It was the question about Xbox in case you forgot. I'd love for you to go back to that one in episode 17 if possible. Appropriate you, homie. And you may have the most blessed day, whatever time you're seeing this. Man, I appreciate that. Well, I hearted this, so now you know that I saw it. 3 weeks later, for episode 17, I think I answered your question, didn't I? Are you okay? I'm sorry if I haven't already answered your question. If you are talking about the game running on an Xbox Series S, that question, if it was you, inspired an entire video to be made. And Angelo is working on it right now. And we get into the nitty, dark and gritty GTA 4. I'm just kidding. We get into the nitty gritty on how, like, basically the power for the Xbox Series S should be able to handle Grand Theft Auto 6. But to save you time before the video, you're probably looking at locked 1080p upscaled, locked to 30 frames per second with graphics, downgraded, but still perfectly playable at a buttery smooth 30 frames per second. I know that feels weird to say buttery smooth 30 frames per second, but I mean like consistent. It doesn't dip below that. Yeah, like all Rockstar games when they launch. With other consoles having performance mode options, but not the Xbox Series S. If that's what you're talking about, I have a whole video about that coming out. Hawks fan Matt Man. God, I love saying your name. Let's say it again. Hawks fan Matt Man. Question: based on what you know about Rockstar's history, how much would you guess they consider the casual gamer who may not necessarily want more complex or involved game mechanics when designing their games? I'm guessing Rockstar wants to appeal to as wide swath of gamers as possible, so I'm wondering how they might go about striking a balance between casuals and hardcore players. Well, I think the line between what was once considered casual and what is now considered casual, or I'm sorry, the line between casual and hardcore has definitely blurred. Casual gamers are getting more hardcore, and hardcore gamers are getting more hardcore. So I think that you're seeing an evolution of game mechanics to where things are just going to be a little bit more immersive, a little bit more advanced out of the box. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, if anything, you're going to be looking at gameplay systems similar to Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe dialed up a little bit, if at all. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Hawks fan, Matt Man. Love saying your name. Love it. Miss saying it during shout out time, man. All right, Jeff Don't Care. Question. Hi, Andy. I had to say it because it's HAI. In previous GTA games, the player can drive a car at night and honk to a specific NPC. Yes. And the NPC will get into our car, and then we will drive into a dark alley and get a massage from the NPC. And my question is, do you think we can do it as Lucia? I haven't considered this, but that would be pretty interesting to do as Lucia. Shoot, Lucia might be so good, she might be getting it for free. Just saying. That, now we're talking. We're asking the real questions here. I'd be curious to see that. Maybe some turn you down, like, nah, I don't do girls, lady. That kind of thing. That'd be pretty interesting. Huh. I'm gonna have to go try that out now. You cheeky bastards. All right, Luminous Music. What's up, y'all? Go check out his music. As someone who loves Graham and is open-minded and deeply insightful views on the past, I really respect you for making this video. Which video? Whoa, hold on. I don't know what video you're talking about, but I'm going to read this comment. Okay, you are a good human being Flint, and I wish you all the best. Am I the right person? Do you think I'm someone else? That would be funny. This is what humanity needs right now, being respectful and loving to each other, even when we disagree, not like politicians and world leaders hating on each other for having petty, different opinions. This is true. Little guy. Lady's on it. Okay, she's awesome. Much love, Fint. I really hope you will one day get the insight of how deeply mysterious life and human history really is. People were way more connected with the mysterious and spiritual life than our current civilization. And we need to look at the past from the perspective to really uncover and understand its secrets and not project our current culture and beliefs onto the past. And I think you can agree that a lot of archaeologists are not able to look at the distant past with that kind of perspective. I've traveled all around the world to visit many ancient sites, and I see a lot of modern day projection onto the past. Well, that's true, which is logical when people, including lots of intelligent archaeologists, cannot see past their own cultural programming. It takes a certain kind of wisdom and spiritual insight to be able to really look at human life from a different perspective without our ego interfering. This is also one of Graham's main points. Oh, I'm out of it. Let's see. We will never find out the real truth about our past if we keep looking at it from a narrow-minded perspective. in a box kind of perspective. We will just keep on projecting our current worldviews and culture onto it. Just look at Sahi Hawass. You know what I mean. Sahi Hawass. Ask yourself this question. Who is more likely to discover the truth about our past? Someone with narrow-minded and huge ego, looking for status and money, or someone with an open mind and a way smaller ego? Who is looking for truth, even when it doesn't give them any money? Of course, the one with the huge ego and lots of wealth will become the most known one, with a huge following, and the other person will stay hidden in the shadows. Are you like an angel that came here and like left this for us all or something? I'm just, I can't respond to this. I'm just going to have to heart you. Blowing our minds here. Blowing our minds. Yeah, 100%. I feel like everyone's own independent search for truth should be, their thing. The truth on the nature of our reality. And and I feel like people who do look to the past, of course, they're clouded with the, modern day politics and stuff like that. 100%. What is going on in my mind here? Is this the CIA? Who are you? Anyways, we hearted that. I hope you guys got something out of that. We get deep here on the Grand Theft Auto 6 YouTube channels. Thanks very much for your comment, man. I hope you're doing all right. And I hope that you commented on the right video. All right, Ghost GSXR 750. Question, Andy. Can you please give your thoughts on the guy that's riding the motorcycle on the cover art? He's doing a wheelie, which we've been able to do in every GTA game, but if you look closely, he's also kneeling on a seat. Do you think we'll finally see some kind of stunt system in the game, or am I crazy? I think we're going to see other NPCs doing stunts. I don't know about us doing stunts. I thought the same thing. I think whoever that group is, they'll be doing stunts on bikes and we won't. But I hope I'm wrong. All right, now we have Zoe Filler Text or Zoe Filler Text. Q&A question. What's a night that you had that you didn't expect to be anything at first, but then as it unfolded, it became one you always remembered? Oh, I don't know if I can answer that on here. Sometimes when you're with someone, you can just look at them and there's an understanding between the two of you, a man and a woman, that it's time to rock. And, maybe you guys had just been friends up to that point. Maybe you went for a few drinks. Maybe you're saying your goodbyes. And then maybe one of you makes a move, and before you know it, it's a night to remember. That's all I'm going to say about that. Maybe that happens a couple of times with different people. Just saying. Okay, Lincoln. I'm sorry. You can get me in trouble. Okay, Lincoln Hawkers. Very cool. Just yesterday, and maybe one of those, I'll answer this too. And maybe one of those nights also turns out to become the woman that you have children with. Just saying. All right, Lincoln Hawkers. Very cool. Just yesterday, I was mentioning in Discord that some games, media types, had flown to NYC on assignment earlier in this week, New York City. Okay, so I had a bunch, so I had a hunch something was imminent. The question is, what was that a coincidence? Or are we going to get gameplay impressions from the press who saw the game or even played it? Less likely. No. I'm going to say no. And this is 3 weeks ago. I think we're all in the dark for a while until we get the next bit. I thought for sure trailer 3 would be out by now. I thought it was going to happen when I was in the hospital. It didn't. I've had a kid while waiting on that. It's insane, guys. It's insane. Quote unquote insane. Martin 162. The question is, will it sound like a middle-class suburban HR lady or normie librarian's ideology? If yes, it will be uncool. Today's harmless, safe corporate ideology. Oh, this is in response to the woke video. Today's harmless, safe corporate ideology is what people don't want. It's a red herring that GTA was always liberal and anti-conservative, and according to the 90s and 2000s definition, and under Bush, it was still anti-establishment. You can't be a cool rebel when you follow the ideology of ESGWEF, MasterCard, and whoever else. The GTA ethos was the contrarian outsider view who ridicules the serious people. It's antithetical to sensitivity readers and whatnot. Dan Houser's writing was rejected and he resigned. That's enough for me to know. We'll see. I think maybe he wanted to be more biting with it. Maybe he wanted to be super anti-conservative with it. Maybe he wanted to go super quote unquote woke with it. That's why he's gone. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know the man. It might have been him who lost the plot and is doing the opposite of what you're saying. Because I feel like Rockstar has always kind of been like, you can go too far right, you can go too far left, and there's somewhere in the middle, you know? Common sense. And I feel like it's just made fun of, people who've kind of lost the plot, for lack of a better term. But I don't know. I think the writing's going to be good, personally, just based off the people who are writing it. We'll see. I think it's going to be closer to RDR2, though, than a GTA game, which is no problem for me. Ash Boyo, no question. Just hoping you and the fam are doing well, Andy. Thanks so much for the superb content. And as always, and congrats on 40K. Bro, thank you so much. Hearting and liking this 2 weeks ago. So just not getting back to you. Thanks, homie. All right, now we got Ricardo 217. I don't get it. $100 is not a lot. Funny how almost everyone was like, it's been this many years. I don't care how much it was. Who knew an extra $20 would make them question the price? LMAO. Plus, it's GTA. This game is going to be played for so many years when online comes out. Yeah, I think the problem is the very obvious trickery that they were trying to do. Like, they should have just been like, look, the game's $100, guys. We need $100. That's what we could. The best I could do is $100. You know, the Pawn Stars meme. I think that would have been much better received. But $100 ain't nothing. But yeah, you're right. It's not nearly what it was 10, 20 years ago. All right, Omar W 9206. Not gonna lie, this is all disappointing as fuck. This is when I was talking about the game actually being $100. For the $80, I can't get a disc. I hope that this is only for pre-orders and not store sales. I'm sorry, buddy. I've never been a fan of locking content behind paywalls, particularly digital content. The $20 upcharge for in-game content is unsettling for me. You know, there you go, Ricardo. See, told you. This is pissing people off. This is setting a dangerous. I'm sorry, guys. This is a super long episode. This is setting a dangerous precedence. No question. This will be the best-selling game of all time. It's going to shatter records. The problem is every game developer is going to try to follow this model. Even if you think Grand Theft Auto 6 is worth $80, I do fear that other games are going to try to sell at that price point too. Imagine some BS like Mind's Eye selling for $80. I don't know, I'm conflicted, and I'm definitely not as hyped as I was yesterday for GTA 6. Here's the silver lining. If those crappy game companies do that, well, then they'll do. Jesus Christ. Okay, look. If those companies do that and charge $80, no one's going to buy their games, and those companies are going to go under, and then you don't have to worry about them anymore. And then these AA games that need much more credit will hopefully take their spot. And new AAA peeps will rise, and old AAA peeps will fall. The cycle continues. The inevitable life and death cycle. The Wheel of Time. Not the TV show Wheel of Time, but the book Wheel of Time. Yes. It was not the beginning, but it was a beginning. You know, that kind of thing. Anyways, Aaron, 83G, question, 1950. Wait, you can actually beat her? Are you referring to beating Lucia? I hope so. I'm just kidding. It'd be funny if you could get in the ring with her though and knock the crap out of each other. You all get in a lover spat. Jason can try his army techniques on her MMA. It'd be pretty funny. And then it might turn into another kind of wrestling match. Black Sabbath 2534. I think the biggest question on people's minds is Grand Theft Auto 6 Online, no word from Rockstar, and unusual as we had it with GTA 5 and RDR2 Online when you bought it. No, we didn't. We knew, but this time, nothing. And my guess is Rockstar will charge separately for online. I don't think they will. When you add stories, cost, and online, I reckon you're looking at $140. No, bro. No. We didn't have online for Grand Theft Auto 5 until way after launch. Same with Red Dead Redemption 2, I think. But for sure for Grand Theft Auto 5. It did come later. And there was trailers for specifically the online mode. I think it would be really dumb of them to charge for it. I do not see them doing that. But I do see them doing something like shark cards again. And then you said, and then there will be different versions of online. So you're paying for online money, but some people wanted to skip story and go straight to online. Yeah, that's just not how Rockstar operates. They haven't. You know, the Grand Theft Auto 5's online came later. And you want that. You want them to focus on the online mode so that it's really good when it comes out. Damn, Jack. All right, ladies got him. Okay. She's awesome. We're getting through this. How many questions we got? We got a lot. Good God. I owe it to you guys, okay? I've left you in the dark for too long, not answering your questions. And the lady is doing me a solid here. All right, Carlos Moore, 2080. The people that gave up their ownership freedoms a long time ago, and this is 12 days ago, so I feel less bad. The people who gave up their ownership freedoms a long time ago only hear one thing, people complaining about over the price. Everything else is flying over their heads. So I'm going to dumb it down, okay? Gamers have been getting got for a very long time. When people accepted paying the same price for a digital game that a physical game cost with little to no pushback, the companies knew they had them some suckers. Some people do no research, and majority of their information comes from word of mouth, from influencers that have their biases and motives. So a lot of sorry, you said this wrong. You said miseducation. You're trying to say uneducated. Okay. Motives. So a lot of, or what are you trying to say here? Misinformation, I'm assuming, is what you're trying to say, is widely spread. This is a very long comment, and I've got a lot more to go, and I got kids. So let me just heart you, and I will tell you that Carlos Moore, listen, I know I was defending them in the video that you're responding to, but go watch my most recent video, and you'll see that we are very much in agreement. The one where I say I'm not buying a console anymore. Go watch that video, and you'll find that we're in agreement. It is a symptom of something very wrong with not only the gaming world, but the whole world. So, yeah. And that's corporate greed. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it has been for decades, even before y'all were born. Swifty Zay. So, weird question. I see the gas fuel, if no one noticed. So is refueling mechanics in the game now. I saw that too, and I sure hope so. Foxtrocity. Do you play Foxhole? Question, how come no one has talked about if we could possibly do tricks now on dirt bikes or four-wheelers or BMXs? We had a comment about doing tricks, because in the first trailer I saw during the street takeover a four-wheeler doing a wheelie. We had a guy talk about the wheelie, and you couldn't in GTA 5. I don't know, food for thought. I feel like side activities are going to be more complex than they were. I agree with that. And I would say that you're probably going to be able to do some basic tricks, but just maybe not like super complex ones. Wheelies have always been in Grand Theft Auto. Like, yeah, we're going to be able to do it. All right, now we got Javi 95. I love your name, by the way. Question, what is your take on if Rockstar added the two-player option like they did in San Andreas? Oh, okay. So you asked this on another video and I didn't respond, and now I got to it. All right. MGS Beckett 2263 ASAP online. Hey Andy, you need to talk about what's really important. People need to hear this, and nobody has made a video on it except for the one other guy. Huge elephant in the room. No online. You gonna wait? Why are you freaking out about there being no online? Yeah, there's no online. Not yet. It's going to come later, just like it did with Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Y'all chill. It's going to be all right. Online's going to come later, and you're not going to have to pay extra money for it. You're just going to have to pay for really fancy things with shark cards, which I would criticize that. Okay. Mickham 2949. I think they'll make things more complex. Well, I wouldn't criticize shark cards. I would criticize the fact that they didn't increase with inflation of the in-game store stuff, which, their older content should become cheaper over time if they're rising with the inflation costs. Just saying. I don't know. Anyways, Mickham 2949. I think they'll make things more complex with encounters. The question is, how much will it be enough to meet the extremely high expectations that some are placing on GTA 6? Personally, I'd be good if the NPCs are about 20% more complex than we saw in Red Dead Redemption 2. The graphics are a bit improved, the story isn't complete garbage, and the game isn't woke. Red Dead Redemption 2 was already a great game, and while I don't expect GTA 6 to have a story that's as compelling, I'll just want other aspects to be a bit improved. GTA 6 definitely needs to outshine GTA 5 by a huge margin. GTA 5 wasn't a bad game, but with how dated it is, with the story just being average, in my opinion, I agree. Grand Theft Auto 6 will have to really knock the socks off of GTA 5 to sell itself apart and push the series forward. Completely agree. And I think it's going to do all of that. I do, okay? I think the NPCs are going to feel more complex. I think the graphics are going to be better. I think the story's going to be good. I have faith in this game. There's nothing that in it that's indicated that it's going to be like Saints Row went. I don't think that's going to happen. There's a lot of people trying to grift and make money online right now. I'll say that. Putting misinformation up, showing International Women's Day and saying that that's the entire game development team. So yeah. Also, it's the UK. You're going to have some woke people working on your games. Doesn't mean the game's going to come out, being what they would make at home in their study or whatever. It's going to be Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to die if it's not. No, I'm not. Don't say that. If it comes out and it's a busted piece of crap, it's not going to be a busted piece of crap. But if it comes out and the writing sucks, I'll call it out. I'm not married to this company. I'm not married to the Grand Theft Auto 6. I've got my love for great works of art. And they've proven that they can make great works of art. And if they put out something that's absolute trash, I'll call it out. So you're not going to see me here blindly defending a game that I think has bad writing after the game comes out. I mean, I knock on Grand Theft Auto 5 all the time, and I still acknowledge it's a great game. All right, Dev Rolo, the investor thing doesn't make much sense to me. The only thing the investors care about is stock price, and stocks move on headlines, public sentiment, and hype, not on concrete numbers like how much money did the company make. Well, yeah, no, it does on how much the company makes. The more the company makes, the more that they can pay in dividends. Investors had a lot of questions about the price point because they knew whatever price was revealed would have significant impact on the sentiment towards the stock. A price too high would cause sentiment towards Rockstar to drop, and so would their stock. So if anything, the investors weren't questioning about the price because they wanted it to be expensive. Once again, their profit from selling the stock is almost the dividends thing. Hold on, let me think. Okay, I'm caught up. Okay, and once again, their profit from selling stock is almost entirely independent from actual company performance, and investors know this. They wanted hints from the CEO so they could hedge their investments ahead of time in case of positive or negative reception. Yep. But yeah, okay, look, if you're an investor, like if you invest in a company and you sound like a smart guy, so you know things, and you sound like you know more about investing than me, so I'm not going to talk to you as like an authority figure on this. Yeah, you want your companies to make more money. Duh. Like you want your company to be successful. The better the company does over time, the more people are going to invest, the better it is, the more stable it looks. Yeah. You want your company to perform well. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. But yes, I do agree that they were poking and prodding, trying to figure that what you're saying. But I'm out of the market now. I made my money on AMC and then got out. I should have sold when it was at its peak, but I didn't. People were like, it's coming. We're going to hit $400 a share or something crazy like that. Hit 70. All right, Phil Rectangle. My question is, did I say, and if I said the dividends thing earlier and I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm really tired. And I used to work for a life insurance company, and it's possible I'm getting that mixed up with becoming your own banker. All right, Phil Rectangle. My question is, why would Rockstar Take-Two go to the effort of printing discs after launch, just to capture whatever portion of the market will only buy games on discs? Well, that's a pretty big portion. And the fact that they double and triple dip their games should tell you. Because people who also buy their games digitally are going to still buy it on the disc. If they release it on the disc, I'll go buy it on the disc. I'll buy it twice. I covered a lot on the channel. That's why I would do that. Also, I like to collect it. And there's a lot of other people that'll probably do the same. Will there be a mail-in program for digital owners, or will they just charge full price again? I would assume they are just going to charge full price again. I've heard of double dipping, but this is ridiculous. Yes, I agree. Surely the simpler and, in my opinion, more likely explanation is that they're just not making them for at least this release. 2 weeks ago, I would have said that there's no way in hell you're right, that they're going to eventually print discs, because that's what the leaks that told us they're going to go digital only also told us that there was coming discs. But, at this point with Sony doing what they're doing, I'm going to have to, I may agree with you. It looks like they're just preparing for the future. So we'll see. They're like, what's the point, But we'll see. We'll see if they listen to people. Listen to their fans. Voodoo LSX 4327. I'm not interested in the story mode at all. I'm not interested in online mode. Any news or speculation? Wait. Oh, you're only interested in online. Any news or speculation on when GTA 6 Online will go live? My wife and I play online games together, and that's our main question about the game. No news on it yet. But you'll get a lot of trailers when it does. It's going to come after the game just like it did for GTA 5. So just, you really don't like the single player? Come on. I understand Grand Theft Auto 5, but come on. Come on. Even Grand Theft Auto 5, give it a shot. Come on. Play the games. I'm that meme poking you with the stick. Average Studios, 325. Hi, Andy. Here's a question. Do you like the more organized crime mafia themes of GTA 3, 4, and Vice City? Or do you prefer the more street gang themes of San Andreas and 5? Oh, that's tough because I love San Andreas. The whole hood section of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, up until you like go out into the sticks, immaculate. Everything else, I really, really, really like the criminal underworld stuff of Grand Theft Auto 4. Like a lot. Absolutely love it. And that was my favorite Grand Theft Auto. So there's my answer to that. Who is jingling? Jack, what are you jingling? Sorry if you guys can hear that. Okay, Jordan Enrique, 7335. Question, do you think there will be a cheat code where we could get a full weapon wheel? Because sometimes going on a full rampage is fun. Yeah, I would assume so. If they do like the weapon restriction stuff, I would assume that there's going to be a cheat code for a full weapon wheel. Yeah, without a doubt. BKLYN Girl 72. And I'm so sorry, I'm really tired. Is it Brooklyn Girl? Anyways, I love this channel. Lots of common sense takes. I have a question to ask. If they had just put the game out with everything at $100, but still had the same pre-order bonus, would there still be so much outrage? Exactly. And that's exactly my point. And then he said, or would people still complain about how expensive games are? No, I think people would still complain about it, but it wouldn't be nearly as bad as it is now. I think, yeah, they should have just priced it at $100 out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And then Rockstar puts out quality games every single time. Devil's Advocate here, or Devil's Advocate time. This game costs billions. The fact that you could get it for $80 to start and decide later on upgrading it might make it feasible for some people. There are other games out there from companies that don't have the history of great games like Rockstar selling ultimate and collector editions that cost way more than $100. I have to wait for it to come out to PC anyway, so I can't do anything right now. But I am paying attention to the discourse. I hope when it comes to PC, I can get the pre-order bonus. This is a game I'm not afraid to pre-order. I've been burned before. Amen. 100% agree with you, Brooklyn Girl. 72. And forgive me if that doesn't stand for Brooklyn. No, I 100% agree with you that, if they were just honest with us about the $100 price, we wouldn't have seen what we saw with the backlash. We would have had some, but not nearly as much. And I think that, if there's any game you're going to spend that amount of money on, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. Just saying. They have a proven track record. So I do feel good about that price, given the amount. Now, if it comes out and it sucks for one reason or another, then yeah. When you charge $100 for your game, you're telling people it's going to be good. So it must deliver on that if it's going to charge $100. Okay, Bot McClinker, about time you changed your shirt. But seriously, amazing content as always. And I have a question. Any chance of developer appreciation vid? I'm not a dev myself, just someone who recognizes the immense amount of blood, sweat, and tears and passion that goes into a project like Grand Theft Auto 6. I guess I just hope the team behind it gets proper recognition. I should make a video about that. Hey, it's a good video idea. I'm gonna put that down after this. What would I like to see? Activities, sports, mini games, mundane tasks, turning lights on and off, and safe houses would be pretty stellar. That would be cool. In my opinion, this wasn't a nothing burger of a video. It was quite thought-provoking and appreciated. Well, thanks, man. That was on the How Far Can Players Impact the Story in Grand Theft Auto 6 video. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope that there's stuff like that to where you can basically... What the hell was that? I am so sorry. But yes, I hope there's stuff like that to where you can basically turn the light switches on and off, turn on the TV, turn on and off, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I would love that. So what? Let me figure out what that was real quick. Oh, thank God for Miss Rachel. Let's see. Who did I just answer? Okay, now we have Goated 3285. Oh, there's a cat in here. That's what's happening. Hey, what's up, Joe? Why aren't you sleeping? You've been sleeping all day. Okay. I don't think it's people asking for online mode immediately as myself. I'm not ready to grind again. Yeah, for real. People are asking because we want to genuinely know if we're going to have to pay again for online since Rockstar specifically stated that the story mode experienced and the internet is not required. I saved money for this game, so I'm not complaining about a $100 price tag, but I'm curious if that includes online one day, which is a valid question, not hatred. Yeah. Look, y'all, if they charge for online, that's going to be a big slip up on their part. I really don't see them doing it. I don't. Now they could, but I don't see it happening. And it will, of course, come later. There's going to be a lot of dev time for it. So yeah. Okay. A lot of people are curious about this. Looks like I should maybe make a video on it. Okay. Comment on my biggest video ever. That was really 7 months ago. And probably terrible. But anyways, sum it up. Every NPC and how it thinks or acts is just the same ideal and concept of a roguelike game where I'm sorry, I'm reading this, but my question is, okay, let me just get to your question because I'm confused by the first thing. My question is, if they're all look different and all have different collision mask over time, each one will start acting similar. Because let's say they're black and players are more prone to mess with black in OC, they might be aggressive, or if they're bigger, the more likely to hit other object and do clumsy thing. But I don't think it is as advanced as they say. Homie, I'm so sorry. I don't know what you're saying. If English isn't your first language or whatever, and you like try to do that, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time follow. Maybe I'll revisit this later and then like try to like read through it better. My bad. I'm not understanding the question. All right. We have Richard Nolan, I1S3I. Okay. Or that or they're brackets or something. They're not brackets. Whatever. The other things. Danny Anyplace, you're probably not going to see this, but do you touche. But do you what's up, bro? I'm seeing it. But anyways, now we're reading it at the 3.5 hour mark on a video probably. But you're probably not going to see this, but do you think we might see the return of Nico's nephew? Dumb question, but I was hoping to see a return of Nico or his nephew in Grand Theft Auto 5, and that never happens. Maybe 6? No, I do not think so. In fact, just between y'all and me, I've been potentially maybe trying to set up an interview with that guy, Michael Hollick. So we'll see how that goes. I don't see him working for Rockstar again. I'll just say that. And Roman, some people had his ending to where he's dead. And I think they're trying to leave it ambiguous. And Grand Theft Auto Online just put out some art where it's the scene of Roman's death at the end of Grand Theft Auto 4 recreated as a painting. So take that what you will. Or I said that wrong, but you know what I'm saying. All right, now we have Unknownell6174. My first time seeing your face, and my question is, why does your avatar have short hair? Stupid question. Yes. Irrelevant. Yes. So, do you have to say for yourself, sir? What do I have to say for myself? My hair's in a ponytail. It's always in a ponytail. You can see it on the back of my neck. My hair's in a ponytail. And there you go. I have long hair. I'm going to let my hair down on one of these videos so you guys can see it. Take that, good sir. Also, this angle just hides a lot of my hair. It's wrapped around the other side of my neck. Oh, you're getting on to me. You guys are getting on to me. Masqueradian 2028. Question. I really like your question segments in your podcast. Well, then you're going to love this episode. Man, I have one I'd like to ask. In terms of completion, how many hours do you think it will take to 100% complete everything in Grand Theft Auto 6, meaning all stranger missions, events, collectibles, etc.? I get the feeling it's going to be way crazier than RDR2's completion requirements. Man, there's no way to know, but I'll tell you that it's going to be as big or bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2, just like you're saying. But I have no information on that, so I can't answer that. But yeah, it's going to be big. Hopefully they have better challenges than Red Dead Redemption 2 had. Red Dead Redemption 1, that was something it did better than Red Dead Redemption 2 was its challenges. Like a lot better. So if they bring challenges, that kind of thing into it, I hope it's more like Red Dead Redemption 1. All right. Oppressium destroys lives. Wait, Oppressium destroys lives. Okay. Are we prepared for the insane amount of bugs and spooky chaos this will cause? That's the real question. Oh, with the AI? It's not going to cause bugs. They're hammering it out. They're trying to beat the sentience out of the NPCs before we get it. But yes, it should cause some pretty spooky chaos. Red Dead Redemption 2 had that spooky chaos. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where you're like, whoa, NPCs do that? That's weird. Yeah, get ready for it. All right, Day Drago. This might be a sore question, but are you going to name your son Eric or however you spell it? I know he was a great friend. Just thought I'd ask. Sorry. Don't be sorry. It's okay to ask that question. Yeah, that was the plan. But, that's not his name. And the reason that's not his name is on the lady's side of the family, she has kind of a thing where if they name someone after someone whose life has ended badly or who went down a dark path, they too seem to kind of follow in their footsteps. And I have kind of observed that on my side of the family as well. Like my cousin Rodney, he was a really cool dude. His dad, he blew himself up in a meth lab, survived, then hung himself with his belt off the second floor of an apartment. And he discovered the body. His son, when he was a kid, little Rodney, discovered it and came around the side and was telling my great grandma, no, Mama, don't go back there. And I don't want you to see that. My dad's dad has a bunch of demons. And it messed my dad up really bad. And, I try to be really respectful of my pops on here, so I won't talk about that. But, so that's why I'm not naming my son after him. But originally I did. I did want to do that. But I understood that reasoning that she had. And, I agree with her. Why put an omen on a child, I got a lyric about that. And I got a song called Heroin on my last album, The End of All We Know. And it's about Eric. And one of the lines is, I thought I'd give my child your name, but I couldn't curse them with your mistakes. So, that's why. But I know when you have someone close to you, that close to you die, it seems pretty obvious to name your kid after him, right? But I understand why now, that we're not. So thanks for asking. And that was a good question. All right. I love the feeling. Question. Do you think that the online mode on Grand Theft Auto 6 will include a community server mode and Rockstar server where people can create their own built-in roleplay servers, while Rockstar server will be more of a GTA online mode? I think this might be the route they take. There's no way to tell, but yeah, I see it like for the roleplay stuff being more like community-based. That or them just like right there, bam, in the middle. Traditional roleplay. Which route, How do you like your Grand Theft Auto? But yeah, I see a lot of it being in the community server stuff. But I don't know. The fact that they've acquired the UGC stuff also tells me that maybe they're building tools for specifically those things. Uh-oh. Okay, we got 3 questions left. It's about, my time's almost up to switch back over. All right, life we live on. I have a question I've been wondering about. Love your content and personality. You and Sav both surely do your thing. Thank you. I don't think anyone has touched up on this question, so here it goes. In Red Dead Redemption 2, we could knock the NPCs unconscious, and they could wake back up and could even see, and you could even see on your crosshairs that they were alive still, with it being red instead of white. Do you think this might be implemented in GTA 6? Absolutely, I do. I think that was even visible in the leaks. I think Lucia was able to knock out a guy in Hank's Waffles. Also, congratulations on the kid. Keep up the great work. Thank you. And if you guys can hear my kid right now, he was partying pretty hard. So thanks, homie. Really appreciate it. Holy crap, guys. We have gotten through this. There's 2 more questions left. All right. Is it Owl City? Are you like the band, but like you spelt it different? I'm sorry. My question is, how do we end it? 2 to the back of the head. No, I'm just kidding. Will it even? I'm only 26 and all this happened so utterly quick with no consent. Interesting. Reading all of that without any context, like looking at the video you're responding to, made that just kind of funny for me to read because it was just like, so like, like, how do we end it? Will it even? Okay, so he's talking on I'm done with console gaming after this video. Pretty, I went off the rails in that video and I was really worried that a lot of y'all were going to hate it. Turns out a lot of people are feeling the way I'm feeling. So if y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. But he's asking basically, how do we end this corporate greed cycle, of them taking away freedom and consumer choice? You're only 26. All this happened so quick with no consent. It is weird. There's been physical media push before COVID over the last year and a half. Oh, you're saying, is it weird there has been a physical media? No. People have always liked physical media. The problem is, look, when iTunes and all that first came out, people weren't really thinking about like the fact that we're giving up physical media. When Spotify came out, all that kind of stuff. It's only now starting to become a question because people, especially back when people started being like, wait, I miss Blockbuster. Because people are starting to miss it. A lot of people do love the convenience, but what it really comes down to is ownership. It's not even the fact of having a disc when you open up a game, box or something like that. It's about the files. If you buy a game on your computer, yeah, you could buy it on Steam and not truly own it, but you own it. But if you were to go and buy the same game on GOG.com, you have the files. They're yours. You can always play that game offline. Always. They can never take away your rights to play it because now you have it. See what I'm saying? So to the people who are constantly crapping on PC gamers and being like, how's a PC gamer going to, think this way about it? Well, that's why, because you can have the files. Duh. That's what it's about, is ownership, and it's not about the disc. Hell, they could put it on a little cube, and then the cube goes into like a little new console thing. It doesn't have to be discs. It could be new ways of having it. Ownership. Can I hold it in my hand? And if I can't, can I store it somewhere, like on a hard drive that I can hold in my hand? Can I have it? If I purchase it to own it, can I truly own it? I don't want to purchase something and just be renting it this entire time. That's what it's about. All right. Living ABN01. Good sir, congratulations to you. You are the last person I am answering questions to. You are the last question. I'm all caught up finally. I'm gonna comment you right now. Good sir. When you get this comment, by the way, we're typing it right now. We're live typing this comment. Good sir, I am here to inform you that you are the last question we will be answering in this massive, stupid video. No, I'm not going to put that because you're going to be so confused. Answering in this massive podcast episode. Say, no, you're not going to be able to respond. Good sir, I am here to inform you that you are the last question we'll be answering in this massive podcast episode. I hope, I'm burping there, hope you are having a wonderful day/night. Much love, your mom. Sorry, I'm out of it, y'all. Much love and peace. No, that's stupid. Sign off with that. It comes across sincere if I do it like that. You guys are getting to hear me second guess myself responding to your comments. Good sir, I am here to inform you that you are the last question we'll be answering in this massive podcast episode. I hope you are having a wonderful day and night. We are typing this. Well, I say we. It sounds like I'm schizophrenic. I'm typing this as we record. So yes, you, good sir, living ABN01 are the champion, the MVP. Watch his question just be total hatred. Question, do you think if a lot of influencers started promoting Xbox to do a form of a hard copy, and if they confirm, they will then start influencing people to go towards Xbox to keep it alive, and American businesses alive, maybe a whole bunch of Americans will not buy PlayStation 6 to the point that they may change their plan, and the PS6 Elite will have some kind of hard copy version. How far do you think influencers could convince the change of PlayStation? To a little bit, not as much as you'd think. Influencers are just one step, one cog in the great machine of consumer demand, The only thing that's going to drive it are the masses. What do we as consumers truly want? That's what will ultimately win. And that's what these business guys would say. I mean, that's how they even framed it when they came out with the Sony thing. Based on consumer feedback, this is what you want. So yeah. That means there's a lot of people out there who are okay with this. And I guess it's on us to throw a big stinky fit about it online and vote with our wallets. Really, that's what it is. And I've been reluctant to say this because it sounds extreme. There's really only two things you can do. One is vote with your wallet. The other is voting with your Second Amendment. Now, how bad do things need to get for it to get there? I don't know. I'm not saying, I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying that in history, that seems to be the only way things change. I think that the latter option would be absolutely absurd for something like this. But that's the only way people make change is, money or violence. So, or, they starve themselves and appeal to people's goodwill. Or light themselves on fire. I don't know. There's a lot of ways. Maybe we should start lighting ourselves on fire. Joking aside, just vote with your wallet, man. That's all we can do. Just don't pay for something. And the second thing, the other thing I said, that's very extreme. And I was just telling you, these are the things I've noticed, make changes in the world. Not saying that should be done. A lot of people have good lives, comfortable lives. Hasn't gotten to that point yet. But if people ever start going hungry, that's how people are going to start to react. But right now, Americans are, placated. We've got food, shelter, all of our needs are met. So, people don't go die over stupid things anymore. So, is what it is. And I don't think it will, I hope to God it never gets that dystopian to where it gets to that point, because nobody should ever, 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 ever wish for that. Ever. And of course, I'm not just talking about the console stuff. That would be absolutely ridiculous if I was. But the larger things that are going on in our American society right now. And that's assuming you're an American, which is a very American thing to do. But you did say Americans. Maybe a whole bunch of Americans will not buy PlayStation 6. So sorry you got my weird tinfoil hat response here at the ending. I'm exhausted. And just to clarify, this isn't me being like, take up arms against Sony. It's nothing like that. I was just saying that in observing history, it seems to be the only two things that work is cutting off money or the other thing. So yeah, I don't even know if I should say that. Feels irresponsible. Or is it irresponsible? Oh, I'm telling you guys that it's an observation. I'm overthinking it. I'm leaving it in. I don't care. Let me know what you think. Y'all, we made it through this. I think this might be the longest episode ever, maybe only beat by the one before it. Now I have to go and count all the questions so that I can make sure the title is appropriate. Hopefully the ending there doesn't get me in trouble. I'm just overthinking it. I'm an anxious guy. Vote with your wallet and only your wallet. That's what I'll say. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you guys, all my members. Thank y'all so much. Really appreciate having you guys here. It's absolutely insane to be able to do this. This was a crazy Saturday. So I'm hoping to have this out on a Monday. If it's not out on Monday, sorry, it'll be out on another day. But hoping to have this out on a work day to help you guys get through your shifts. And this should have been a good chunk of it. So thank y'all so much for listening. My throat hurts. Regardless for your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there, y'all. Much love and peace.
Thank you for listening to the Dandy Andy Experience.